Welcome to the Take Cover Podcast with your hosts, Jacob and Chase. Viewer discretion is advised.
Always makes me awkward when you do that.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be efficient.
And it's always off too. It doesn't even matter because I like count down, then it like shows me counting down, and then everybody's just like,
So you
"Why?"
don't do the 5, 4.
No, it's
We're not that
dramatic.
smooth.
No.
Not that smooth.
Yeah.
Wish we were.
It looked really fucking
got
stupid.
some
It
work
always
to
looks
do.
stupid anyway.
But we are here and we are live.
Fuck yeah. So, everybody, we are with Josh Hayden, Scott Stevens, and Tony Fish, as we put in there. Josh, of course, owner of Gracie Owensboro. Badass dude over there. So, Chase was like super fangirling while before we went to
Fangirling,
class
thanks.
today. Well, see, because I didn't know, like, I guess how high level you were. Or are.
Josh is about to get really uncomfortable because he's about to talk about your stature in the Jiu Jitsu game.
Well, I just didn't know. I was ignorant to it, you know. But you're like I would never know because you're super fucking nice and laid back. I just feel like, you know, you'd be like big dick swing around, you know. That's what I'd be like.
And that's why you're not.
Yeah. It also though, we've got the giveaway. Who did we draw for that?
So, for the Take Cover Podcast Holiday Ham giveaway, drumroll please. Candace Rice, you won
Boom.
the Holiday Ham. We will get in touch with you. I'll tag you in this post, which you're probably not in here watching this. I can't blame you for not. But you are our lucky winner of the Take Cover Podcast Holiday Ham or turkey. So,
Sweet.
congrats on that. And
Good job, Candace. Nice job. Yeah.
So, how'd you get into everything, Josh? I like, where'd you start at? Because we got to be a long ass road.
Well, first starting into jiu-jitsu. Is that
Yeah.
what you're asking? So me and my brother, Jason, you all know Jason, we got into a fight at home. So after I got back from college, I was like on a little break from college football, and he double-legged me. I swung on him, he double-legged me. Then he had me an inside, like, reverse heel hook. And I was kicking him in his face. Because he was being nice. And then he let go. Then my dad broke it up, whatever. And then I was like, man, he could have fucked me up. Jason, you know, he's 5'5", he was 135 pounds at the time. He was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I gotta learn. I gotta learn. I mean, I can't have my little brother whooping my ass. So.
Yeah. That's like Chase's adult size.
hey, I tell everybody, I'm like a thick woman.
That's the truth, though. So.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Scott knows. Jason beat the shit out of a lot of adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was training with Jason. It was, when I started because I had asthma. And my buddy's like, hey, man, why don't you come train? We always watched UFC. I said, man, I don't want to fight. I said, man, just come train. So I started at a different gym. Then I went to Murray, came back from school, and started a nice guy because Adam Jones. Adam Jones is a really good friend of ours. And he brought me to the gym basically. And I started training, and Jason was in there. And I remember I was working at Berry Plastics at the time, night shift. And I was 25, 26, and he was 15, 16 years old. I walked into work, and my face was all red, beat up. I was like, man, what happened to you? Man, this little kid whooped my ass. And I'm not talking just a little bit. He fucked me up. He's the real deal. And he got Josh into it, and it's just like, them two, yeah, they're like the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I noticed going back on a lot of your stuff, you were always like in the picture, you were close by. So how long have you guys known each other and been doing it together?
We started around the same time. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
We've been training about the same amount. Yeah, so.
That's crazy. So was your home gym Gracie Fishhawk in Florida?
That's not where I first started training. I started training
No?
here in Owensboro.
Okay.
We started training under Joe Bays here in Owensboro. And then after I qualified for ADCC, I had some opportunities come up. They were like, hey, man, you want to come down and train full time? That wasn't a thing here. Like, Owensboro's, far behind on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And, I had this opportunity. I mean, I went to China. It sounds weird because I went to China, met this dude.
Gable
met met this dude, and he like asked me. He was like, "Hey man, you can move." I had a few other options too. You could move, down to my gym, teach private lessons, possibly make some money, and just see where the opportunity goes. So I quit my job. I was working at U.S. Bank at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Where everybody works.
Yeah, it took me a while to do it though, to decide like 6 months.
Well, it's a big decision, man.
Yeah. I mean, because I got kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had worked at U.S. Bank 3 or 4 years at the time, and then
That's gotta suck for a guy like you.
yeah, it was pretty.
Sitting in a cubicle.
Yeah.
Keeping your head down.
But that's what happened.
Not
I'm sitting in my
shit.
cubicle, man. I'm sitting in the cubicle after all this happened.
Yeah.
Like, I went to China, did all that, and, like, I knew in the back of my head that I had an opportunity to train full-time, you know what I mean? And, I mean,
Do what
Scott,
you love,
yeah,
or
Scott
sit in a
and them
cubicle
were
every day.
a big influence behind me doing that, you know what I mean? It took me about 6 months to do it. Then I was in my cubicle, and I was, like, doing my job, and, I mean, the workload our files were this high. It's before they went paperless.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so the files were above the cubicle. I'm like, man, we're just getting hounded, every day. And I was like, man, I can't just do this forever. I was like, I gotta at least do it. You know what I mean?
You gotta try it. Fuck it, man.
So I ended up, talking to them. It was like, let's do it. Now the last test was seeing if, the old lady let me do it. And then she was like, yeah, why not? I mean, 2 days later, I was, I sold all my stuff, got some bills caught up, then just moved to Florida. It was
How long did you live in Florida then?
I lived for a total of 2 years, but we ended up. I mean, one thing, man, I was running out of money. I was eating peanut butter and oatmeal for every day. And I met my business partner Travis. I don't know if you all, when he came up, Travis.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, I was on the verge of going home around 6 months because I ran out of money, and I was like just eating oatmeal, peanut butter, and stuff every day. He's like, man, you can come to my house and eat. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I'm not, I'm good.
Yeah,
I got
pride
oatmeal,
in there.
I got oatmeal peanut butter. You know what I mean? And then, so he had a lawn service. So he's like, man, you can work for me. So I was like, okay, that extended the stay. I was about to come back home.
Yeah.
That extended the stay. And then I was doing private lessons with this guy. His name is Victor. And him and Travis started talking. Like, he ended up doing his lawn. We were cutting his lawn. And they were talking about opening a gym in their subdivision. And then they were like, well, there was just going to be a kids program. And I had no ambition to open a school. I didn't know anything about it. And then they were like, well, we want an adults program. They were talking about it. And then they was like, well, we can include Josh, And I was like, well, I'm down for whatever. I came down here for opportunity. Let's see where it goes.
Right.
And then 6 months later, we end up opening a gym. So, I mean, I literally quit my job that I was working 4 years, went down to Florida. I mean, I lived in a closet I couldn't even straighten my arms. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I was living in a closet, sleeping on box springs for 6 months.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, but it is what it is. I was training full time. I was training with some good guys. We got to train with a nice camp down there. Met a lot of people, won a lot of tournaments, did some networking. I mean, that's what I was down there for. Nobody said it was gonna be easy.
Yeah.
But but yeah, then we opened the gym. Then then I ended up staying there for 2 years. Then I had to come back because like my kids were, they were like, "Why you always gone?" Like, well, then I moved back, opened up Owensboro. Now it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you definitely condensed that down.
Yeah.
There's got to be more than that.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot.
You got some props from Larry Stark, called you the GOAT. Said goats with apostrophe goats, so there's goats involved here. And
Plural goats.
Matt Jean went ahead and said, Scott looks so fly.
So Tony,
Yeah, my story is not as glamorous as these guys.
well, I want to
Okay.
I want to give you my take on Tony. Then I'll let Tony talk about Tony.
Okay.
So I started training with Tony at the gym he was training at, and when I left, we kind of split apart. Whatever, we just lost contact. Well, he walks into the gym, and I didn't recognize him because he's lost so much weight. The first question he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, do y'all honor belts from other schools?" And I started laughing because I'm like, "Of course we do." But you gotta think about it. For somebody to come into a gym brand new, fresh, he'd be like, "Hey, I'm a blue belt. I'm a 4-stripe blue belt. Were you 4-stripe?
Yeah.
4-stripe blue belt. Will you honor that? If not, I can go back to white belt." He was willing to start all over.
Oh, nice.
Willing to start. Oh, that's no
Yeah.
ego whatsoever.
Right.
Well, I was on a 3-year layoff. I had not formally met Josh until he had this first gym over on, was it Gemini? Or Salem.
Salem, yeah. Good old
But I
storage
trained
gym.
down at Nice Guy with Scotty long time
I
ago.
was hitting Samurai.
Was it? Did you go out there? Or didn't you go there?
Yeah, I
knew-
went there for
knew-
like a couple months. but-
Okay, yeah. Well, you got out. You did the smart thing. I stayed, unfortunately, but I actually started at a smaller, lesser-known gym here in town, and it wasn't jiu-jitsu oriented. It was like MMA, and this was like around 2005, right? It's UFC's popping off,
Right.
Right. Ultimate Fighters, and everybody's in full swing and getting excited. Oh,
Yeah.
I got to get into a gym. I want to fight. Everybody was doing that shit. I was not the exception to that. So that's how I got into it. And I came in, I was way out of shape. Banking on almost 250 pounds. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Damn.
Couldn't wait to get off work and get home and play some Halo 3.
Hey.
And drink
Hey,
Mountain Dew and smoke some
Can't
more
knock on that,
cigarettes.
though.
Yeah, so I had a friend, his little brother was actually training at that gym. I don't want to call him out and be real slanderous about it or anything like that, but you know who we're talking about. Anyway, so that's how I started off. It was strictly MMA, and for about 3 years, we weren't doing jiu-jitsu. I mean, we had some jiu-jitsu in it, but nothing to what you guys are seeing now with Josh. So, but I eventually I kind of got out of it. I was training to get ready for some MMA fights. I was really I wanted to do amateur MMA and eventually see where that went. But I just wanted to fight, and that kind of fell through. So I took some time off and actually started playing hockey again. That's what I wanted to do when I was growing up through school. I played hockey.
Well, it's basically
here.
the same thing as MMA.
Yeah. Well, in Owens, if you ever went to
You just beat the shit out of each other.
If you ever went to a hockey game here in Owensboro during the the mid to late '90s, maybe earlier than that, it was basically a cage fight on ice. But I actually played hockey with Justin Galloway and his brother. Jay Galloway, who was also
Savage.
Just, I mean, you want to talk about 2 talented guys. No matter what they do, they're going to excel at it. They're and not to mention they're really nice guys as well.
I guess.
You guess. Until you get him on the mat and piss him off, and then he's got you synced in on a front headlock, and
Chin
then you're hurting pretty bad.
It's my kryptonite, man.
So, anyways, I had an opportunity to try out for a semi-pro hockey team in Evansville, the Icemen. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Definitely, yeah.
When they first came in, they were a single A pro team. So I was like, oh, that's really what I want to do. Let me get back into this. So I got back into shape and ended up making that team. And first preseason game, first shift on the ice, I tore my ACL.
No way.
First shift, I got blindsided.
Son of a bitch.
Knee popped. I'm done. So I was out for. Well, Josh knows what that's like because he's coming off an ACL surgery. It's not pretty. You got to learn how to walk all over again.
Yeah.
It's a long road. So. So still in that I want to play professional hockey mindset, even though it was single A. And keep in mind I've got a wife and kid at home, basically a newborn, and that's rough on itself. And my wife being the awesome person she is, she's like, yeah, you just go for it, get it done, do it now. We're not getting any
Get out of your system.
Yeah,
That's what she was saying.
She endured a lot during that time. Bless her heart, I love her to death. But so next season went to open tryouts again. Just knee wasn't having it, so I was done. Then I'm like, what am I going to do now? It's still, we all got that competitiveness to us. We got to do something. If not, we just get bottled up. Shit gets real bad. We get angry, and nobody's happy.
Screaming at
So,
dudes in traffic. And...
Yeah. Well, I do that anyways.
Yeah.
Especially with the drivers here in Owensboro. Fucking reckless motherfucker. No. But, so let me, I want to get back into MMA. So this time I go down to Nice Guy, and Scotty's there, and they're doing it's not MMA strictly. They're doing jiu-jitsu, and it's the first time I'm really exposed to that.
Yeah. So you're like, I got one bad joint. Let's fuck the rest of them.
Right. Yeah,
Get them all out of the way.
Especially down there with a bunch of leg lock specialists too. Let me go on there. This knee's bad. Go ahead and knock the other one out while you're at it. So and that's where I met Jason. I don't know if he actually remembers that, but I was down there for a month, and I'm like, what is this little 135 pound guy? I'm still pretty bulky. I'm big. No, he's submission. I'm like, fuck. And I've been training for 3 years. Yeah, I took a little time off. What the hell's going on with this? Yeah, I found out I wasn't really training jiu-jitsu. I was doing some bastardized form of it, whatever, the whole McDojo bullshit. So I didn't last long down there. So I ended up started training in an academy in Evansville, the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Bruce Shepard, he's a world-class black belt. Judo, I mean, he was doing judo before he was doing Jiu-Jitsu. So I did 5 years over there. And learned, just basically starting over. I got my blue belt with him. I spent 5 years there and really learned the basics. Ended up getting hurt again. Right before a competition, I tore a meniscus in my right knee, had surgery. I came back a little too...
Was that the same knee?
No, it was the other knee.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so...
that's a little bit better.
No, that's fine.
So this wasn't that long
It's suck when you
ago.
get 60,
right.
but...
Right. So I ended up having surgery, came back a little too soon, tore it again. So this time they just went in and just said, well, your meniscus is basically fucked. We're going to cut it out and go on about life. So then I took like a 3-year hiatus. I was like, I got to started riding bicycles and getting into that whole bullshit. And got a text message from a friend of ours, Andy Vanover, who I used to train striking with. Andy. And he's a really good striking guy, Muay Thai. He's awesome. He's like, hey, Josh Hayden. I'm like, I know Jason. Yeah, it's Jason's older brother. He's like he's opened up a gym in town. He's doing jiu-jitsu and striking, and come in and check it out. I was like, I might do it, and I'm just so weary about re-injuring anything. Once you have an injury like that, you're like, man, I really, it's a big.
I can imagine. It's always in the back of your head.
Block that you don't want to go through that shit again. When you find out maybe you haven't been taking care of yourself the right way, whatever the case is, but. So I got back into it about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, because I came in when you were on the first place on Triplet, and I was just doing boxing because he had a boxing program. I was like, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you just doing the striking.
It was right before you got your black belt.
Yeah. You came in to Salem too.
I came in,
but he was just doing striking.
No. I came in a cut because I did my free week over there, and I was rolling with somebody, and I separated a rib.
Gotcha.
Fuck, here we go again. I was weak. So I took some time off, and then I believe in that transition period, you guys had moved to Triplet, and that's when you had Tony coming in, coaching boxing and stuff. So I got in there, and the old place, you guys don't know it. It was like a big garage, huge garage, but there was a garage door separating the jiu-jitsu side from the boxing ring. And in the middle of the summer, it's hotter than balls, and it was really bad. So you'd open the doors up on each side in the middle, just try to get air through there. And then, I'm just kind of, I keep looking over, and these guys are doing jiu-jitsu. I'm like, fuck, I want to get back into it. Got to get back,
Yeah.
So I talked to Josh, and that's kind of when the boxing stuff was dying down. It started trickling down, and he's like, yeah, just come over and start training. And, I've been year and a half now, I guess, with you guys. So and it's awesome. It's probably one of the best environments I've ever been in as far as jiu-jitsu goes. I mean, not to knock the place I trained at in Evansville, because it was a great environment, good learning too. But the family environment that is implemented over here, and you guys probably feel it too, since you
definitely
for sure. Everybody, it's not, you're not just a student over there. You're a part of the process. So that's where I've been with it right now, is just enjoying that family environment. I'm not overly competitive like some of the other guys in there. I'm a family man. I don't want to get hurt, so I ain't got time to train and shit like that. Because when you start training and you're going for competition, a lot of stuff gets put on the back burner. Josh really can. You heard his story. You can attest to that. Stuff gets put on hold. So, but just going in there and training and enjoying it and learning and the environment is great, and the knowledge that Josh has compared to anybody else in the area is
one other thing about
huge.
Josh, it's like he gave me the opportunity to teach. and I fell in love with being an instructor because I love helping people.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere at Gracie Owensboro is that we want everybody to be able to be an instructor. It's not like that at other schools. You know what I mean? Because we want to be able to spread the knowledge and have other people spread the knowledge too. Because ultimately, that's going to help out Josh. You know what I'm saying?
We just want it to be part of the process, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can sit there and reverse engineer what you do, right? If you can sit there and convey it to somebody, right? That just reiterates the fact that you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? You just get these mental reps as well as the physical reps, and then all of a sudden you actually understand what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to include that in the process. You know what I'm saying? Not just sitting here and doing techniques and stuff like that. Not everybody wants to pursue that.
Yeah.
But I believe that it should be a part of the belts of your journey because you need to be able to convey what you. Because the way I look at it is, I look at jiu-jitsu as the ultimate self-defense. You know what I mean? Like I could defend myself. I'm confident that I could defend myself.
I'm
Worst case
pretty
scenario.
I'm pretty confident he can.
Well, worst case scenario, like not everybody's prepared to go. I'm down to go to if I get into an altercation, I'm down to go for hours. Is everybody else down to do that?
Like
we train
solid 30 seconds. That's my wife.
You know what I'm saying? But like you get into an altercation like that when it's a self-defense scenario and your fight or flight kicks in, and you've been in here. You see how we drill. I mean, we drill for a long time, especially in the intro program. You know, like you're getting those, those reps, just reps, and like when we roll, we're rolling 6 minutes at a time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we might go 30 minutes at a time. You just never know. We might just throw a screw in there just to change things up. But my main thing is if I can't convey what I know to my kids, then I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because my goal is for people to defend themselves, be confident. You know what I'm saying? Or at least understand that you could just keep going. Just don't fucking quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just don't quit. That's it. Just keep fighting. Is everybody willing to fight till somebody stops? You know what I mean? Like, then that's a hell of a fight. That's how once we started, me and my brother started training, man, when we got at home and we got into fights and we were trained, it turned into, man, how'd you do that? It was like, hey,
How'd you just kill me?
Like, yeah, it was like, how'd you do that, man? After we just got done beating each other's ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like that's what we want that to be a part of, the process in the gym because, you just never know, man. I mean, I just want everybody to love it. We're trying to convey that. But the most important thing is like the environment. Like they sit there and mention the environment.
So Josh's ego is almost non-existent in jiu-jitsu. So because he wants to help everybody out. And
You're the same way.
I love
And so are you.
You know,
Dude, when you
It's
went-
how we all should be.
He went.
You know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
was it like? 10 minutes, 15 minutes when we were playing King of the Hill, and you were there the whole time. You had a calf cramp. You took like a 10-second break, and then you're like, all right, let's go.
No, I think I triangled somebody with my calf cramp, and so.
Well, it was like I was waiting on the wall. I was like, all right. I'm gonna see which one of these guys I can take on. And then you got a calf cramp. I was like, here's my shot. And then I go over there, and we go for like maybe 30 seconds, and you do was it like the dummy, dummy swipe?
Dummy sweep.
Yeah, dummy sweep. And I was
Idiot
like,
sweep,
that's
idiot
why it's
sweep,
called the dummy sweep because I feel like a fucking retard now.
we come from spots where the instructor wants you to be good but not better than them. When my students, my training partners, I call them my training partners, if they tap me out, I'm happy because they're learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're capitalizing on my mistakes. Because obviously if I made a mistake, they're going to make me pay for it. You can't make any mistakes against Josh. Regardless if you make mistakes against Josh, he's going to make you pay for it. It's like I come out of a row like, man, I tapped out 15 times. All right, man, I did good.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, like our ultimate goal is evolution. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I convey everything I know and I teach you guys how to beat me, then you guys stop me from doing what I normally do. Then we're gonna force an evolution. You know what I mean? But just the main thing is just growth. Just all around is growth. Like not just techniques. Just in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got real relationships in there, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in there every day, all of us, we spend a large majority of our time in there. Whether you're in there with that class, but Tony's in there 2 times a day, and I need it. I need to be able to train. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't train or I'm working out or something, I'm a miserable person. You know, like Tony said, he first. How much did you weigh?
About 250.
Yeah, I started training at 230. You know what I mean? Like, I was 230, graduated at 170, and like I was a smoker. I smoked cigarettes for 2 years, like a pack a day. You know, drinking. Even when I trained, then I was like, man, shit. I was like, I need to get. I got tired, so I was, started changing my health habits and stuff like that. But
And you guys keep mentioning environment, and that's one of the things that in particular, I don't know about Chase, but like we started out in his garage. Chase has got a huge background in wrestling, as I'm sure you guys have fucking
Huge
noticed.
is an overstatement. It's an overstatement.
Yeah,
doubles for days.
And so he's got like mats and all kinds of shit in his garage, and I've always been I wouldn't say necessarily like not comfortable, but I don't like being in somebody else's personal space.
Yeah.
So when he invited me, we met at US Bank, and I just wouldn't leave him the fuck alone, and we just developed a friendship because I just
sounds kinda gay.
suffocated him. Yeah. And
Showing the right sport.
and so he invited me over for boxing because I wanted to get into it. And so we just kind of went from there. And then after the McGregor-Khabib fight, we talked about it back in January, going down to Gracie Owensboro. And I even messaged you guys. Okay. And then we didn't do it. Just put it off. And then after the Conor-Khabib fight, I was like, let's fucking go down there. Let's do it. But one of the things I was most nervous about was the environment. I was halfway expecting to walk into a bunch of fucking meatheads.
Everybody thinks
that would just like,
everybody.
just like, oh, look at this fucking dummy, like,
yeah.
And so that's what I was nervous about. So I walked in, and I'm a pretty outgoing guy, but I just kept to myself. And you were the first one to like come up to me, and you just like grabbed the back of my head. You're like, get in there. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. And like it's super welcoming though, and we've talked about it many times on the show since, is how welcoming it is. Like you can be just in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and you'll learn the same shit that everybody else in there is learning.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was scared about because I knew what it was like to jump into a wrestling room, and the thing is, like, I was assistant coach for only a year, and then I had to quit because there's no money in coaching, and in high school coaching at least, and so I didn't do that for very long, but I did like small seminars at like Faust and Esses and stuff like that, and I got to like teach those kids. But there's a big difference whenever you walk into a wrestling room compared to whenever I walked into your guys' gym. Like the crazy thing was when you walk into a wrestling room, there's almost like this like odor of testosterone. Like everybody in there is out to prove something, prove more than what they actually are, and it was. For me, that was my biggest drawback of actually going in there, as I was worried that I was going to get that same feeling, and it will give you anxiety. I wrestled for several years, and like the anxiety that I would get before like large tournaments, before duels and stuff like that, like carried with me. And so like for a long time, I just trained by myself and worked out by myself, and never really liked gyms because it actually it left a bad taste in my mouth through like wrestling and stuff like that. But going into the gym, like into Gracie's, it was very, very refreshing to go in there. And I was like, at first, I'm like, all right, let's see how everybody is and everything. But immediately very welcoming. I mean, you came right up to me. You weren't there that first day, I don't think. I think you were like fresh off surgery. So like,
yeah,
like, I'll stay home for one
Even
day. But
still, man, like seeing you out there in gi and you're like teaching us how to do double leg, I'm just like, oh please no.
I'm like,
every time he goes, he's like, I can't do it, but you're gonna drop this knee first. I'm like, please don't do it, please don't do it, please don't do it.
And he still looks better than me doing it.
I know. every time.
I can't help it. I gotta be on the mat. I mean, I know I can't. I know I gotta take it easy and stuff, but man, I don't know. This is what I've been doing for 9 years, and all of a sudden I can't do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like me and Scott was working out 2 times a day, before and getting ready for tournaments and training, and then all of a sudden I can't do anything.
Now, is the ACL one that when it repairs itself, it's stronger, or is it weaker?
I don't know.
I think it's stronger, right?
That's what they say, but
well, it depends on how it heals. Like if it tears completely.
Well, you could use the cadaver, or you could do cadaver, which is an artificial one, right?
Well, cadavers.
Or somebody else.
They pull it out of a corpse.
Yes,
Yeah.
But I did patella, or you do the
same one I
hamstring.
had, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
That's supposed to be strong.
I always hear that it's supposed to be pretty strong.
They say for anybody that the way it was described to me is if anybody is wanting to continue any athletic ventures, that's kind of the way it's a little bit stronger. So I think it's probably a smart move. They say the risk of a cadaver re-tearing is significantly higher than a patella.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. So.
But honestly, like in the past 9 years as training, I mean, I've had a few injuries. Like I've hurt a rib or something like that. I've probably hurt myself more getting my kids out of their car seat than I have been doing jiu-jitsu. Me personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, out of 9 years, first injury, like real injury, I blow my knee out in 9 years. Yeah, that's not that bad.
That's not bad.
You know what I mean? So,
Have you noticed
I was due.
like knuckle swelling or anything? From,
No,
like,
not
knees?
me. Not really. I mean, like the calluses that develop on your fingertips because you're gripping the gi, constant gripping, and stuff like that. But no, not nothing really besides the cauliflower. That's the only thing.
Is that all from jiu-jitsu or is that from striking too?
What, cauliflower? More so wrestling. More so wrestling off the wall and stuff like that. And also pulling out of triangles and stuff. So
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's funny because
these two got really nice cauliflower.
Yeah.
it's
Mine
funny
is really
because
weak.
with cauliflower, like Jason, man, whenever he first started doing jiu-jitsu and MMA, he like cauliflower was almost going to be the deciding factor whether he continued to train or not because he's worried about him cosmetically.
Really?
You know, and he was like, man, I remember being at home and he was getting cauliflowers, draining it and shit, and he was like, man, I don't want fucking ears like this. You know what I mean? And then
So you can drain it?
yeah, well, when it
How does
swells
that
up, I mean, you go to the doctor to drain it, but you could just get, I mean, I drain my own, you know what I mean? You could just drain it, but then it just hardens.
Okay.
Then it turns like this. You can get it fixed. Adam Jones got his fixed.
Yeah,
I think.
but it's
But it's not really like fixed.
like Joe Bays. We started training underneath Joe Bays, and
Not everybody gets it.
not everybody gets it. And he's one of the best grapplers in the world. He's qualified for ADCC. He's never gotten it,
Really?
and it's really. I mean, he goes to the same thing we go through.
Crazy.
Pulling out of triangles, guillotines.
I think he like when we trained with him, he like would try to get it and he'd be pissed off. He told me he would try. He'd be pissed off.
But my wife and I, it's a funny story. We met on a blind date, and we started talking before we met. And I told her, I said, don't be alarmed because I have cauliflower ear. Well, she Googles it. So what the fuck does Google bring up? Google brings up the worst
Broccoli.
of the worst.
Where it fell out of your
She
ear,
sees
blew
these
up.
motherfuckers got these ears hanging off and blood splattering everywhere. She's like,
Oh,
oh,
no.
shit.
Like,
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe, man, like what people don't understand, like Owensboro, like it's not jiu-jitsu's. It's like it's big, but it's a growing thing, especially with like submission only thing. But Owensboro has like produced some of the best grapplers in the world. You know, what I mean? Grapplers. You know, submission artists. Like you don't. There's a lot of people that are good at grappling, but then there's people that are good at grappling.
Yeah,
I mean,
top-level
especially
guys.
when it comes to submission grappling, and like Joe's one of them. You know what I mean? Then like myself, he helped me get to ADCC as well because he's the one who started with. Then my brother. You know what I mean? And then you got Drake Renfro. We got guys that go out and beat a lot of people. They might not get to the big show, you know, but they've went out and they've competed against high level guys. Yeah. And you know, and Kentucky, you know, like I said, Owensboro's behind in a lot of different things.
Per capita.
Yeah,
Sure.
you know, but you got 3 guys that came out of Owensboro, Kentucky, that are some of the best grapplers in the world and have competed against the best grapplers in the world. Like I competed against Rafael Lovato one time. Dude's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's America's most successful grappler. I mean, now that might be different, but he's in Bellator now. But in Owensboro alone, you got some of the best submission artists in the world, period, hands down.
But if
Out of Owensboro.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Jason
crazy.
hasn't made it to ADCC
Yet.
yet.
Yeah.
But if you go to LA and you drop Josh or Jason's name, you're in any gym for free.
Damn.
He went to train with Jocko Willink and Dean Lister, and he walked up to him, hey man, I'm in the
We get a
Army."
lot of love on the West Coast, man. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's
Love
crazy.
the West Coast, man. 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Bravo.
But like the environment, like you're talking about the environment in our gym. That's really honestly the jiu-jitsu community. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily extreme as say vegan or yo. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that. But you go anywhere and somebody finds out you train jiu-jitsu. Usually it's a good, like it's a nice, good intellectual experience. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they I don't know. It's it's widespread.
It's not the
You get mad
meathead
love,
experience
man.
that you guys were referring
Because you
That's
have to
what-
respect,
yeah.
and you have to respect everybody, man. I mean, like wrestling, love wrestling, big fan of wrestling. Got a bunch of wrestling friends, but a lot of wrestlers get choked. I'm not, anybody that's a wrestler, I'm not saying you'll get choked every single time.
But it does happen.
But it is
for
there,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? But so you have to respect some little Stephen Clark in our gym, like this little dude, 135 pound vegan. Speaking of vegan,
Love you, Stephen.
yeah, we love you, Stephen.
Choke you up with plants.
Yeah, but man, he's real, and he does all the barbell work and bar work and everything like that, all body weight. But he's a little dude, and he could fuck up majority of people, because it's chokes and stuff. No matter what, you cut off the blood flow to the brain, you're going to sleep.
Armbar
Period.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Tough.
Yeah.
But that's like that environment. Everybody has to respect everybody because you
Yeah.
could have 130. Like you don't know who could be it doesn't matter what they look like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter because
That's the definition of a true martial art,
Yeah.
though.
You know, awareness creates understanding. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I can look at the gym and I can name everybody that can beat my ass. You see what I'm saying? But when you walk out of there, you give everybody the same respect because you understand the dangers of getting to a fight.
Yeah.
Because you fight every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's training or not, you're actually simulating fighting. And the environment, we set that environment because we know how we wanted to be treated, and we knew how we wanted to treat other people. We're huge advocates of mental health, right? Yeah. And when I go to that gym, even if I don't train, like tonight, I didn't train. I came in, just hung out.
Were you injured like last week or the week before?
I bone bruise on my shin. It just sucked.
Oh, okay.
It just hurt.
Yeah.
Pussy. I was
Dirty
being- I was
tampon.
being a pussy.
I got you.
Exactly.
I seen you sitting to the side, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, so I started,
Josh
doing-
got a coming off ACL
Yeah.
surgery out there drilling.
I should have been telling me.
I got a bruise on my shin.
I should have been telling everybody. Everybody's just mad at me for being on the mat. I'm like, what did I fucking do?
just going there and hanging out and interacting with everybody. It's just such a good service to my mental health. Makes me happy. Get a dopamine rush. You feel good, and it's like we want everybody to feel that way.
Yeah.
So that's why we set that environment like that, because we came from a spot to where we didn't think we got treated, as good as we should have, and we didn't want anybody else to feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And plus, it just the environment alone, like just being there, you sports growing up, you got the camaraderie of a team, but they don't tell you play sports your whole life, but then you'll be cut off at high school. You know what I mean? Then you're thrown into real war.
Yeah.
But this is something that like forever. You know what I mean? Like you're working your job. No matter what, you got to do something physical. If you don't do something physical, you should go lift weights. Go run, go bike. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something. But that competitive nature in you, if you've ever competed in high school or you ever did a sport, baseball, whatever, that's not dead. You know what I mean? But you're in the gym, and like it is a team aspect. Like we're working together. We're better because of each other. Essentially, that's it.
Yeah.
But you got that environment, and we just feed off each other. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it's awesome.
I think there's a big confidence level that comes off of it too, because I'm not a confident person.
Shit, me
Normally.
neither.
Normally,
I'm not.
I'm generally pretty shy unless I've got about 4 fingers of the Woodford
There you go.
in me. I gotta drive. I think that's the
I
main
don't.
thing. The main thing that jiu-jitsu teaches you is confidence in yourself and your abilities. And like Josh Scott said, in a safe environment. You can come in there and not be scared to train and not have to worry about somebody wanting to hurt you, and that's again the meathead environment. I think though that environment is slowly getting pushed out. There's not too many places you go to and see that anymore. If you do, turn around and find somewhere else to go. But if anybody is struggling with just personal confidence and self-esteem, you want to feel better about yourself, that jiu-jitsu does that.
I've seen a lot of like really awesome stories about guys who joined martial arts that were coming from like a pretty much rock bottom and joining maybe jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or kickboxing or something like that and completely turn their life around, and some of them become world champions. And I think that has something to say about, the power of martial arts, from the beginning. You say it teaches you to be confident in yourself. It teaches you to overcome obstacles. It teaches you to face adversity instead of backing down. And, and when you have a good environment to learn those basics in, I think it pretty much sets you up to be successful in pretty much anything you do in life. If you can learn that from a young age.
Yeah, it's a blueprint for everything else.
Yeah.
It absolutely.
100%.
So one of our best blue belts, his name's Corey Hayes. And I'm going to call him out because I love
Nick
him.
Roby, but he's
Nick
MIA
Roby,
right now.
So Corey,
The blue belt blues has struck.
Yeah.
well, Nick got on a different.
He got on days.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what,
We
get on
still
days.
got night classes, Nick Roby, if you're out there.
It's 7:15
Yeah.
every night, Monday through Friday.
So Corey, me and Corey, pretty good friends, and it's funny because and this is going to sound really gay, but fighting,
It's okay.
fighting and training is intimate, meaning. Like when you go hand-to-hand combat, or you actually have physical touch with somebody, it creates oxytocin, the love chemical. We don't get that shit talking to each other through the phone, text messages, stuff like that. You don't get the oxytocin. So that's why people are so connected whenever they train together. Sorry, hand-to-hand combat, whatever. Like everybody that I fought in MMA, I still have contact with. It's something you experience with those people you don't experience with anybody
And it's
else.
also going through struggle together, though, too.
yeah,
It creates a
for
bond.
sure. Right.
Because I think one of the things that I've benefited from the most is, if you go to the gym, and that's going back to, U.S. Bank, man. You sit in a cubicle all day, you get off work. I was we built a new house, and I was coming home and doing something on it every fucking day because I was driving myself crazy, sitting in a cubicle all day, not doing shit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym. Well, the thing about the gym is you run on a fucking treadmill. I hate that shit.
Yep.
It's so super annoying. I can just give up anytime. It's super easy. There's no telephone pole to okay, I'm gonna make it to that or I'll die. You can't set a goal. It's just you can stop whenever. And so now that I'm working at a different place where I'm super active all day, I didn't want to go to the gym anymore. I was like, man, fuck that. But going to jiu-jitsu, not only do you have to push yourself so far beyond what you think you're capable of. Right. So, when I first started, and even still now, but especially when I first started, you'd set the clock on 5 minutes to do rolling at the end. And it's when you've got another grown man trying to choke you, you're going to have to fucking stop it, whether you're tired or not. Yeah. So, for 5, after... especially coming in fresh after, not doing any cardio, nothing. After the first 2 minutes, I'm fucking gassed. I'm like, all right, I'm just ready to be choked. But then when it starts happening, you're like, okay, never mind.
Man, fuck that.
And you have it's like the fight or flight pushes you through whatever mental barrier you think you have set for yourself. Yeah. And even the warm ups, I've caught myself doing that. What was it, yesterday or the day before, where we did several more warm ups than we normally do added on. Where one of them, it's the alligator cross, and then the push-ups and jumps, and I was like, oh fuck. And then they're like, all right, guys, circle up. Now we're gonna start drilling. But it's just it's not only teaching me mental fortitude, self-defense, but it's also a sense of brotherhood that I haven't really felt since since I was real big into airsoft. The airsoft community is very similar in that. So it's just been a very, very pleasant experience.
So back to Corey real quick. He told me, and he was pretty candid about it. He's pretty candid about his mental health. He said, man, this gym saved my life. He said, I was in deep depression, and I come here, and I get to know you all, and it said, this place is my safe haven,
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say that to me. Yeah. And that makes me...
That's kind of what happened to me, too, man. I mean, you go your whole life. I played football, ran track since I was 9, all the way... college, broke my ankle, had surgery, I was done. You have these ambitions. Everybody who wants to go pro, they're like, oh, I'm going to go pro, I'm going to keep working. Everybody has the ambition, be the small percentage that makes it cool, whatever, but realistically, people get hurt. That shit happens. But then, then I'm cut off. In my mindset, I didn't know I was going to get hurt. Yeah. I was just young, 19, just ambitious about what I was doing. But then all of a sudden,
think it's gonna be,
then the college cuts your scholarship, and now you're thrown into the real world, and you got to deal with life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I spiraled into a deep depression. You know what I mean? Like deep. I lose. I mean, I had these guys on my team. You know what I mean? Like that I trained with, and went through practice with. You're in the locker room, just showering with. You know what I mean? And we're sitting over here, and then I'm now in real life, and you got nothing. You know, you're on this routine. All of a sudden, you're nothing. That's depressing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how? You know, I don't know what to do. You're 19. I mean, I was 19 at the time, had kids. You know, it was didn't know what to do in my life. I went through a 2-year period where I was doing nothing, man. I mean, that's when I gained the weight. That's whenever life was hitting me in my face. You know what I mean? And then I just decided to get into the gym. Then all of a sudden, you know, I'm getting that mental stimulation, that physical stimulation. You know what I mean? And the combination of that alone kind of helped me get out of my depression. You know what I'm saying? And depression's real. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. But you can't sit there at home and isolate yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Not gonna make it better.
And not do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, any martial art, do something. Boxing, whatever, because boxing's awesome, wrestling's awesome. Yeah. But I'd say jiu-jitsu definitely pulled me out of my depression. I don't know what would happen.
I think there's
at that
something
time,
with humans and needing to be challenged.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what martial arts is. Every day is a challenge. Whether you're just drilling the same thing you learned yesterday.
It's raw.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just too easy to get caught in that 9 to 5 rut of doing the same thing every day. You're just dragging your ass out of bed. And for me, it's more of now that I'm more active at my job, it's more of like almost a decompression. Mm-hmm. So I'm wound up all day. I get home, I just take a shower, get in my gi, go to the gym, and then on my way home, I'm struggling to stay awake. Whereas before, I would stay up till 12, 1 a.m. And then, you know, be struggling in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
So now it's like, you know, I get a good sleep and
Also
ready.
thinking like this, how many times, before you started training, how many times a day would you just get irritated with something?
All the time.
Somebody?
Yeah.
Now you're just like,
Somebody
well,
cut
I
me
was
off the other day.
raging.
They were pulling out of the
Right.
Burger King up here. Pulled right out in front of me. I was like, man, fuck.
Well, you want to talk about U.S. Bank? Is I work over in that area, and every day they release works about the same time I come out of work, and everybody flies out of them parking lots. Vroom, vroom, and they don't stop. They don't give a shit, and I'm just like, I want to pull you guys out of that fucking vehicle and just go. All right, you can't do that legally, right? Mm-hmm. So what do? All right,
you go to the gym and do it legally.
I know it's 7:20. Yeah, I can go and. This guy right here, fuck you! You pulled out in front of me. I'm gonna try to choke you out. You know, not you know, I'm not trying to hurt him or anything. But it's that ability to release that stress that you pick up all day long, and it's an outlet.
Well, you could even like, it's especially like with those experienced guys. Like if I'm like, I come to the gym, you see on my face, I'm like, oh shit, Josh is in a bad mood. You know what I mean? Or vice versa.
It's gonna be a bad day for
or
us.
vice versa. And I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm like, man, fuck it. I want to roll.
Try to avoid.
You can roll it out. You know what I'm saying? Because it stops when you tap. You know what I mean? Because everybody, we respect each other, but hey, we understand. It's understood. Like, you know, shit happens, man. You know, and I mean, because I come from, I was angry growing up. You know, like I got kicked off football teams. I mean, I did anger management. I went to counseling and stuff like that. You know, but going to the gym, like if I was to be irritated or something like that, I got an outlet. Not saying I get to hurt somebody, but you know, like everybody's intelligently defending themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you get tapped, you get tapped. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I get to get out that aggression, you know, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
Just
Then
gone.
you're just mellowed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than punching. Like I was an idiot growing up, punching a car or a refrigerator or a wall or something like that.
You
You know what I
basically
mean?
become best friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another story about Corey. We were over at Fish's
Corey's
house.
awesome too.
Yeah. We were over at Fish's house for UFC. What fight was it?
I can't remember. It was a shitty car.
Yeah.
I know everybody was. I was like,
we were all over there, and we have a real good friend who's KSP.
Yeah.
We have a real good friend who's KSP. I'm not going to drop his name, but so Corey was supposed to come out. Well, he never came.
Thank you.
So I texted Corey. I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" He said, "Man, I'm home. I got kind of drunk." He said, "I can't go out." And from the vibe, because we know Corey, from the vibe of the text, I'm like, no, fuck that. He's just trying to avoid the situation.
Yeah.
So we have our buddy, this KSP, go out to his house. It's 25 minutes out. Okay? 25 minutes out to the country, knocks on his door. His mom answers. He said, I need to talk to Corey Hayes. And he said her face just went white.
Imagine KSP
shit.
show up at your house. I
Yeah.
can talk to your son. Man.
Yeah.
And he initially said that he was going
What? What are you doing?
A lot of us don't have to imagine.
he initially said that he was going to put him in, do the whole gamut, like read him his rights, put him in handcuffs,
That's hilarious.
just to fuck with his parents,
Yeah.
right? But he saw how his mom reacted. He's like, man, I'm going to chill out, you know.
Yeah.
As soon as his mom tells Corey, KSP's here for you, he said, I knew exactly who the fuck it was. I changed my clothes. I'm like, let's go.
Let's go.
And after the UFC, our buddy took him back, you know.
That's
so,
awesome.
You know, I felt that there was,
It's a beautiful thing for sure.
you know, he needed to get out of the house because the way he is, which is a lot with a lot of people, whenever he gets stuck in that trap, he just isolates himself.
Yeah.
No, you need to be around your family. You know, your brothers, whatever. You know, we always say blood makes you related, loyalty makes you family.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? So I feel like everybody that I train with is family.
Yeah. 100%.
Because if anybody comes to that door and wants to fight somebody, they're going to have to go through me first.
Well, they're definitely gonna get fucked up,
Yes.
and then they're gonna leave and not come back.
But I know, like, I can write out a whole list of people who I can call if I'm in trouble, and every single one of those people are in that gym.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Man, a lot of y'all guys.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
Marshall
you're good.
Sanders asks, question for Josh. Once you've reached the level of success you've had in jiu-jitsu, what motivates you to continue doing what you do aside from the sport? What drives you?
What drives me?
What drives
For
you?
one, Marshall is a hell of a man. If you don't know Marshall.
I do not.
I know. Tell him my knee still hurts from him kicking me like 3 times.
What drives me?
What still drives you?
Love you,
Going.
Marshall.
What
Aside
keeps you in that gi, not fully healed, to
Well,
instruct class?
Honestly, man, it's just helping people get better. To be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, like, because here's my thing: is like jiu-jitsu and the gym that no matter like what happened and everything with the gyms that we initially started with, like it was open to me and it changed my life. You know what I mean? No matter what, that door's open to anybody because I don't want it to be, I don't want to close that door on somebody where it could change their life. So I mean, my thing, I just want to help people get better, and it might be jiu-jitsu, but you learn more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just a technique, but it's like you're not giving up, which is a vast, amount
Yeah.
of things. That covers the broad spectrum. And plus, like teaching kids, man, I love teaching kids.
I see your
wish-
eyes light up when you're rolling around with
Yeah,
those kids.
I
man.
love teaching kids, man. Just because it's
Those
like
kids are little savages, dude.
bro, they go at it.
A lot of them
man.
I would not want to
They
fuck
go
with.
at it.
Got some kids
and
in there. If they stick with it, they're gonna be.
they
They're
learn
gonna
a
be
lot about
champions.
themselves.
There's
man.
2
Yeah.
girls in there that are just
Yeah,
badasses,
oh my God,
dude.
all of them, man. I mean, we
Dude,
got
yeah.
like 40 kids, you
Yeah.
know. And I like honestly, where our program's at, I did not think that was something that would happen in Owensboro. I just came back because they were training in garages. Everybody was training in garages
Yeah.
before I left. And then we come back. Now we got a gym. Then we got somewhere we can call home.
Yeah.
And then convey what we love about it to everybody else because that's what changed my life. You know what I mean? And just helping everybody get better. That's it. Just
Another follow-up question from Reese.
Yeah,
Reese.
Crampy.
Whatever,
Reese.
Whatever,
You ever
Reese.
suck a dick?
Oh, is it?
We've been talking about you, Reese. Fuck you.
I didn't know it was the same guy. What are some struggles you see in begging? He said begging white belts
It's
and
that Catholic.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Have you seen his ACT score, though?
what you see in beginning white belts, and what can they do to overcome those struggles and not get discouraged?
The biggest thing that I see is them spazzing out, trying to move too
using
fast.
strength, man, because they
Yes.
think that they need to use strength.
That's
a natural
That is
response,
something
though.
that I
Yeah.
struggle with.
Which you gas out when you do
My
that. You get real
first
tired.
week, man, what was so frustrating to me is you guys were doing a phenomenal job of teaching, but it was like I wanted to roll so fucking bad. So at the end of class, you're like, all right, guys, it's open mat. You can roll with whoever. Me and Chase would roll. Chase knows way more than me. So I would be in positions where I'm like, okay, I have a dominant position. I could work now. But I have no fucking idea what to do. So I just rely on strength to keep Chase down, but I'm not doing anything to him.
Right.
I'm just keeping him down and gassing myself. And then he takes my back and chokes me out, So that is something that is absolutely true, using strength instead of technique. And the more you guys teach and the more we absorb, it's like this big ass puzzle slowly starts to take place.
Well, so strength does come into play. So
it definitely
When
helps.
skills equal, you know.
story about Marshall real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's savage.
He approached Josh. He said, man, I want to fight. He said, I got it, my bucket list. I want to have at least one MMA fight, before I quit. So he asked me, he said, man, you help me? I'm like, well, whatever. I'll do whatever. So I was like, hey, man, let's get on this punching bag. And I had forgotten that he had sparred with a professional fighter. I'm sorry, Marshall, if I get this wrong, but I think he sparred with the guy that's trying to get ready for a fight with Lennox Lewis. Okay, This is how high level this guy was.
Damn.
So I'm like, hey, Marshall, let's put you on the punching bag real quick. It took 2 punches. I was like, this motherfucker don't need this.
Yeah, clearly he's graduated this class.
He punched this bag, and I felt bad for the bag stand because it was coming out of the ground.
We have to buy a new one.
And he was folding the bag in half. I'm like, all right, Marshall, you good? Let's go on the gym. Let's go in our room, and I'll put you on the bag, do a little ground and pound. Well, I thought we were going to have to refill that bag because he was hitting it so hard it was coming undone. And the first grappling competition he ever went to, he competed in gi first. Tried to reach around this dude to get a collar tie. Hit this guy with his bicep.
Knock this dude out.
Yeah.
What? Dude's like this.
His eyes were back in his head.
Shit. He tapped because he didn't know what the fuck happened.
He's like, man, I thought this was supposed to be fun. This shit ain't fun. I ain't fucking doing this anymore.
By the way, he's probably one of the nicest guys.
The nicest guy.
That is a trend.
ever.
That is a
Stark said
trend.
he is
The
large.
more badass you are, the more chill you
Dude,
are.
he is
It's
one-
the confidence.
If you call him right now, he'd be like, hey, man, I'm in trouble. Will you come help me? He will be there as quick as he can. He'd probably be there before the cops or the ambulance, whatever you need.
That's what I'm saying. The more badass you are, the calmer you are in any
got that
situation.
right.
Like there was, I was at Taylor's bar, and I looked behind me, and Drake Renfro was behind me. And as soon as he walked in, everybody surrounded this dude. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? Just the calmest fucking guy. Crazy atmosphere, just hanging back.
Every day.
You don't know Drake then.
Drake.
You gotta rename that place.
He's
Renfro's.
Renfro's.
Call that place
Hey,
Renfro's.
ask Drake about the prelims. Prelims of Ciroc.
Oh shit.
Speaking of another really nice
Love you,
guy,
Drake.
Drake is. I haven't known Drake for maybe about a year since I started coming to you guys, but he's another just fantastic.
Silent killer, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just another night. The more you guys keep coming in, you'll notice this is that the guys that you think are oh my God, they're just fucking animals. No, they're the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And, they can do some damage to you if you piss them off, or they're not your friend, whatever the case is, but they just guys that have with just huge hearts, man.
Yeah.
And Josh and Scott and Drake, all the coaches,
Everybody, man.
yeah, Grace, just everybody's just again going back to the whole family atmosphere.
Drake said, "Hey, don't do that."
But my thing is, like, everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
You see a lot of times, like, when people get a group of friends, they all like the same shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hold on. Cholo, too, man. He's amazing.
Yeah, Cholo's in
Cholo
here.
Cinnamon
He's
in
behind
the
the
building.
camera. He's in here,
He's
though.
been here the whole time. Props are standing there. It's been an hour now. You just been standing there quiet, man. I appreciate
But,
you.
everybody in that gym is individual. Like, okay, Drake is working on a tattoo sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
He's having all these anime characters on it. I don't know what the fuck is on his arm, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because you've never seen
Dragon
anything.
Ball Z in there.
He's gonna leave an imprint of it on your neck, though.
You've never, ever seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an individual. Same with Tony. Same with me. Same with Josh. We all are individuals. And it's like, we promote be yourself. Be yourself. Don't like what I like just because of the sake of for me liking it. Like, I don't like what Josh likes just because Josh likes it. He's turned me on to some stuff. And it's beneficial for me.
Shit, I met Drake on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's how we started training.
That's
I was
awesome.
messaging him in the guild, and I was like, "Yo, Drake."
In the guild.
I was like, "Yo, Drake, I ain't." Hey, nerd.
That's one thing you'll find out.
You can follow me on Twitch.
Two guys are fucking geeks. They're the biggest nerds you'll ever find, man.
I told Drake I was like, hey man, I ain't been on. I've been doing jiu-jitsu. You should come in. Then boom, he's in the gym. He's been doing it ever since.
That's awesome, dude.
By the way, you can follow me on twitch.tv/curbs.
There it is. One thing I noticed with everybody that is a higher level than me, which is everybody, is like when I ask to spar with you guys at the end, you guys always back it down to like our level.
Mm-hmm.
So specifically, when I asked to spar with you, you're like, dude, it's 2 minutes left on the clock. I was like, what? You can't handle it? and so what you did?
Not with his bum shin.
Yeah, not with this bruise. Yeah. What I thought was awesome about it is that both times, like, cause you tapped me out once and then you tapped me out again, but both times you did it with something we learned in class that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was just phenomenal because you got me in it, and it was like, it's one thing when you're doing it slow with a partner and you're like walking yourself through step A, step B, step C, and then it's another thing when it's instant motions and you're like, oh fuck, what did I just learn? I'm trying to remember, and then too late.
It's funny. We had this conversation the other night, or actually last night. The anaconda, the guillotine stuff that Josh is showing is coming straight from John Danaher. Yeah. And it's awesome because you can watch these videos of like Gary Taunton, Jason Rao, Gordon Ryan, who he's all competed against, do the same shit.
We're on the same team. We're on the same team.
Right.
Yeah.
He competed against them before they were on the team.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, funny story. EBI, he competed against Gordon. Gordon's like, hey man, can I tell people we're on the same team so I don't have to compete against you anymore? You know what I'm saying? And that's the best grappler in the world telling you that. You know, but you see these guys actually implement it in competition. If you watch competition and you watch ADCC or you watch the Worlds, watch Pan Ams, you see these high-level guys only do about 4 or 5 techniques, right? Of course, we know 1,000 techniques, but you have to narrow them down.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever he was coming up, leg locks, north-south choke, guillotines, taking the back.
Dude,
okay?
north-south is brutal.
There's a video. There's a video.
Yeah.
He tapped out this black belt as a blue belt or purple belt.
I think that was a
blue belt with the north-south. He hit this switch, passed with the north-south, looked up at Trent.
No, I looked at Drake. It was Drake.
Was it Drake? Looked up at Drake, gave him a wink.
Oh shit!
Have you ever seen Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yeah.
Have you ever boxed Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
I lose
when
every
he
time.
give you that fucking wink, you're
Fuck,
about to
man.
die.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
I filled in on the tournament. You know what I mean? Somebody dropped out and they said, "Hey, will you do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." You know what I mean? I was a blue belt at the time, so.
And he just fucking
Damn it.
smashed
Pretty
everybody.
cool, man.
Got a few comments.
It's not Reese again, is it?
Yeah.
God bless him.
He wants to know what's World of Warcraft. Before you answer that, Joseph Borman said Filipino pride, ma buhabe, sandalo, and pang. I can't say.
I'm not fluid. I'm not fluid.
He just said a bunch of hashtags.
I'm
and
not sure if that's Bisayan. I don't know.
powerful shout or call out from Josh Bishop. Ask Josh. I can take him and Drake at the same time.
I don't know who Josh
Well,
Bishop
clearly
is,
that's
but
bullshit, but yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I think who's Josh? It might be a guy we
tell
met
me,
on,
man.
we met on World of Warcraft.
He's still
for
sitting
real.
in the guild like,
We
where are
used to-
these
we
guys
used to have
at?
a guild. Like seriously, me and Drake, we had a guild. I mean, I started
Oh,
a
that's what he
guild.
said. That's where I know Josh, but that dude is my man.
Yeah,
So-
Josh
Yeah,
Bishop's
sure.
awesome, man. I mean, man, I've been playing video. When I was in college, I played Halo 3. Never went to class. I still managed my GPA required for the football team, and I played
like a
World of
1.3.
Warcraft in Halo. It was like 2.5.
Yeah, not very high.
Yeah.
You know, but
Just gotta show up.
See,
Josh
Bishop's
throw
one of
ball.
those guys. Josh Bishop's one of them. And I got a few guys, man. I got like dude's name's Pally War. He wrestled for college in Cali. I still talk to that dude, man.
Pillow Man. He said Pillow Man.
Pillow Man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Josh
okay.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drake actually said Pillow Man. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
he talking about, Pillow Man?
Well, there's a Josh Bishop in Owensboro that I know like through.
Yeah,
acquaintances and
I
stuff
thought
like
that the
so-
name looked familiar,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
didn't know.
I didn't know
But
if
yeah,
we were
no,
getting
he's
ready to
through
have some
World of Warcraft.
Old school Gracie challenge call outs
Yeah.
coming in
Oh,
there.
it's
he
cool.
probably meant he could beat him at War Hill or some shit. The only change he got against Josh is Street Fighter.
Oh man, good shit.
Man, that's wild.
Good shit.
Scott, one thing I've been meaning to ask you, man.
Yeah.
How many gallons
is
of
he so
water do you
red?
drink every day?
So
Because of how much he sweats.
Okay, he's got to drink
Okay.
at least a gallon because he
So-
perspires at least a gallon.
so I try to drink a lot of water.
That is true.
But I've always sweated like that for
Yeah.
no reason.
You look like you came out of a pool, like when we
Yeah.
leave class.
I think it's a redhead gene.
Is
To
it?
be honest, because
Yeah.
my
They-
dad.
Correction.
genetically insufficient.
Correction.
Superior.
Correction, it's a ginger gene.
Yeah, ginger
It sounds
gene.
got a better ring to it.
So
I'm
we
sure.
don't have a soul, so we make up for it in sweat.
Oh, okay.
But my
You're
dad's the
excreting
same
what
way.
little bit of love you've soaked in.
Exactly. Like Mike Evans is actually ginger as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Mike?
No, I don't.
You know if you saw him.
Okay.
Face, the face.
All redheads
But-
look alike.
Right. So he sweats.
He looks like that. But
Yeah.
He sweats too, but not as bad as me. Trent sweats pretty bad, but Jesse Holder,
Yeah,
he's also a ginger. He sweats pretty bad too. I mean,
It seems to be a trend then.
it's one of those things that
Right.
Just
I
inferior
kind
genes, man.
Yeah.
It's
I'm kind of self-conscious about me sweating.
Are you?
so that's fucked
But-
up while you talk about it.
No. The only
Basically, because I don't give a fuck.
gonna-
That's the main reason.
But
You're gonna have to throw this chair away after this podcast.
yeah, exactly. Like, you make it
That's my chair. I use that every day.
It's when we all huddle up for like the last drill, and everybody gets up, and you see everybody's ass still on the mat.
So just a rule of thumb: if you're gonna roll with Scotty during like an open mat, you got to catch him with
Early.
the first 10 minutes.
With the dry sweat.
With the,
Yeah.
dry
The
sweat.
very first roll
Otherwise,
is
you're fucked. You're
Yeah.
not catching.
It's
grip
slippery.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only
It
reason
actually works in his favor. To be honest with you.
Self-defense mechanism. It's cheating. That's what it. Yeah.
He's evolved as a ginger.
Yeah.
But the only reason it makes me self-conscious is because it may make other people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Being
Well,
a ginger?
It means sweat.
Oh, sorry. Matt Jean just said ginger power, so I
It's all encapsulated.
Aaron Deshaw, yeah, he was talking earlier with some guys in the comments, but he was giving you
Aaron
some shout
Shaw's
outs.
an amazing human.
Yeah, he said they're still cleaning up in Florida. I would
Body
assume,
sweat
from all
by
the
far
stuff.
makes me far less uncomfortable than like first and second, probably into third day in class of getting in someone's guard that you don't know.
Have you
Yeah.
caught a,
That is more uncomfortable
have
than
you caught
anybody's
any,
body.
Oh,
sweat.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
You know what I
got
mean?
any
sure.
sweat in your mouth yet?
I caught your sweat in my mouth.
Yeah, I caught Karen tonight. I'm sorry, Karen, if you're listening to this.
Love you, Karen.
We were working
Karen's
some
amazing.
we were working some Dion Belly stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a nice
That's a
bead
mean
of
lady.
sweat falling
Nice
right in
bead.
my mouth. So if you're working from bottom, you got to keep your mouth closed. Don't talk.
Yeah.
I was teaching, and some of your sweat came in my mouth. And I had,
Aaron Grace
Love
be
it.
sweating off his head, man, while I'm teaching.
It's a shaved shaved head.
Man, I was telling Lacey yesterday, one of my favorite things that you do when you're teaching is when you want us to look at what your hands are doing specifically, you snap. And she was like, "What do you mean he snaps?" And I was trying to explain it, and I couldn't really. I was just like, to get our attention on what is very, very important at that time. He snaps the hand before he
Man, I
does
learned
it.
that from Rob Kahn down in Florida.
Rob Conn
Really?
is Hoist Gracie's first
Yeah,
American black.
first American black belt.
Wow.
Gracie Tampa, him teaching, man, amazing dude. That's whenever I moved to Florida, I was training with Gracie Tampa. That's who I was training with, and Rob Kahn, man, I learned a lot from him, like just teaching wise, just how to convey what you're talking about, and his, just how he talked. And strategically speaking and everything like that, man, really influenced how I teach and stuff like that. So
It's a whole nother belt set. If you're looking at trying to classify yourself between, of course there's white belt and black belt, whatever. Teaching is another.
that's a whole nother
skill
realm.
set.
That's a whole nother
I
realm.
mean,
What seems like a very special skill set that you have down is being the instructor's dummy. Because he will say things. He will say things that he's like, okay, so if they do this or if they do that, and then you'll do that for him, and I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck he just said. Now I get it. Like, so that is a special talent in itself.
and a great teacher will make great teachers, instructors. Again, I know how to shrimp. Like, we do them every night in warm-ups.
Yep, every day.
And I've been doing them for 10 years, off and on, as long as I've been doing MMA and Jiu Jitsu. Try showing somebody that's just walked in the door
How to shrimp. Oh my god.
and it'll change your whole perspective on things. You do it just because your muscle memory,
Yeah.
we do them, but hey, come here, I need to show you how to shrimp. It forces you into a new world.
And
It was super uncomfortable the first day.
And you also
it.
have to
Yeah.
lower that anxiety because, like,
Yeah.
it's like you maybe
For one, you're gonna feel stupid as fuck.
I
trying
felt
to
stupid
do
as
it.
fuck for the first several
but
days.
I did too when I started. You know what I'm
and you have
saying?
to
Like I
reduce
did
that
too.
anxiety of feeling stupid. It's like,
Yeah.
man, it's okay because if you don't get it the first time, we do this every day.
And everybody helped me was the thing.
Yeah.
Like my biggest hurdle, and Chase, I was coming to him every day. I was like, all right, you got to walk me through this. That is the backwards rolls.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong, but everything is not feeling right about
Bigger
this.
guys do not go backwards very well.
I was like, listen, I can wad up into a ball. It's not a problem. Okay, but the backwards thing's got me fucked up. And so everybody was like, you have to look over the shoulder and don't roll over your neck. I'm like, so like this and roll directly over my neck. So it took a while to get just
Right.
the footholds down,
It's crazy. I mean, even because honestly, Josh has been really good to me in allowing me to come in and help teach kids classes and occasionally helping with the intro classes and stuff like that. So that alone is an honor in itself to be able to do that. But it really forces you to evolve as an individual, your own jiu-jitsu game, because you've got new people coming in and they're trusting you to show them how to do things properly.
Yeah.
And if you can't verbally reiterate how you do it, it makes you look like an asshole, and that's a reflection of him, and that's honestly for me that's the biggest pressure is 'cause
Right.
he's watching you do this, and he's like, okay, I know Fish knows how to do this technique. Now can he explain it to you how to do it?
Yeah.
And if he can't, well maybe he's not.
And ultimately there's also a skeptical mindset too of like, does this guy know what the fuck he's talking about?
And
right, and that's what you don't want. You don't
yeah.
want new people coming in and be like, oh, this
And-
asshole here.
And we've had people like have that mentality until somebody broke down. It's like, look, if you watch Josh teach Monday and say Grace teaches Tuesday, Advanced is Wednesday, and I teach Thursday, I'm teaching the exact same thing that Josh taught Monday and Grace taught Tuesday. But we figure out our own details on our own.
You guys tweak it. Which is super nice because something that may not work on Monday will click on Wednesday.
Yes, and we
And
tell
it
you
falls
all,
right into place.
and we tell you all that you're going to
So I
find.
do it all week.
You're going to figure out your own details. Like me, I always use this as an example of the triangle. Okay, I'm a midget. I got short ass legs.
And red.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do some stuff a
Ginger
little bit
midget.
different.
Your way worked well for him.
Yeah.
Coach Grace's way worked well for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you filter that out.
Yeah.
You get all this teaching, then you just filter out what works for you, what doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like Brandon. We were doing that shot last night, and Brandon's a wrestler, and he's like, "Man, this is a little bit different." I said, "Well, keep on." He wasn't, like, I don't want to do it this way.
Right.
He's like, "I like it this way because it's different." And I said, "Exactly, because if this doesn't work for you, you won't do it."
Right.
You know what I mean? If he doesn't like it, if it doesn't work for him, he won't do it. He'll just go back to his old ways, which he's a very good wrestler, so it obviously works for him. Does that make sense? Versus me trying to do a triangle just like Grace, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It is not going to happen. I got to do a little bit more technique.
Couple more steps for us short guys.
Exactly.
You got that
I
right.
got short ass limbs too, man. You know
Man, I've tried to land that triangle. I've landed it once in sparring.
Did you get
but
on Reese?
No. I've never rolled with Reese. Yeah.
He's still trying to figure out pummeling. He's asking about pummeling.
Oh,
him.
God. This motherfucker was like, him and Lawson were just dancing, like this, grabbing hands. It's like, bro, you're supposed to fucking. You remember that in class?
Yeah,
You're supposed just, bro. Come
You
on.
said, how the fuck did y'all end up like this? There's no part of the exercise where you end up like this.
Imagine Reese at home.
When did I say hold hands? When did I
Nose
say
to nose, holding hands.
Nah, imagine Reese at home in the mirror doing this.
Good thing everybody's cool with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If we weren't close, I would definitely wouldn't put somebody on the spotlight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so,
yeah,
like Chase missed the day that we had started doing that, but he knows how to do it already. So I was doing it with Juice, and Juice was walking me through how to, because Juice had already done it.
Yeah.
But it was my first time doing it. I was like, all right, so we do this, and we do this, and so we were starting out slow, and then he started speeding up, and I started fucking up, and he's like, all right, we'll back it down a level. So then me and Chase were doing it yesterday, and we were doing it really, really fast. And then I caught you looking at me out of the corner of my eye, and then I fucked it all up. I was like, oh, damn it. You said, all right, guys, just slow down. I was like, yep, that's for me. I got it.
It's such a simple drill, too.
It is.
Something you gotta do a lot.
Generally, the simplest
Yeah.
stuff is the hardest thing to master, you know.
I've noticed a lot, too, is that oftentimes the simplest defense to a lot of the chokes is swimming inside. So that kind of coincides with the same drill.
Sure, yeah,
Just
yeah.
getting underhooks is so important in,
Yeah,
in
100%.
most combat
Just in
sports,
general.
anyways. Yeah.
Just in
Even
general.
in
you
life,
don't want to have-
hugs.
Yeah.
You know,
Give him a good ass fucking hug.
you get underhooks.
Don't let them get under your armpits. You know what I mean?
Oh man, man.
I think Reese was asking what the white belt tips were. Going back, I know we got.
Oh, yeah.
we got a little.
Sorry,
Reese.
Sorry, Reese.
Quit being a bitch, Reese.
Stop asking so many
Circle around.
questions.
The biggest thing I see at it, I mean, even goes into blue belt, is people get frustrated and they feel like nothing works.
Yeah.
They quit.
Just
They
keep
freaking
showing up,
just
man.
show up.
Just show up.
Yeah.
Even if it's
Show
twice a week, get there. I guarantee, like, I've been on vacation from work all week, and I've told myself I'm going to every class this week. That's my goal this week.
Even the kids'
And
class.
Even the kids' classes. Come in, yeah.
I love kids' classes.
Man, kids' classes are the best.
It's
But
fucking awesome.
like tonight, it's like, man, I'm tired. You know, I've been on vacation, sleeping on the couch all week, watching, you know, Ancient Aliens and shit like that.
Love ancient aliens.
Look into
About
it.
the Sphinx.
Learning
yeah.
They got Pyramid Code on Netflix.
Oh shit. And you know, it's like, man, do I really want to go in tonight, man? All right, man, I'll get my stuff loaded, packed up, and I'm out the door. By the time I get in the gym, it's like, all right, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, I've
The
changed.
worst part is going. Like, getting
Yeah,
yourself
for
off the
sure.
couch
Yeah.
is the worst part.
Yeah.
Once you-
Yeah.
I always feel like a piece of shit if I don't go. Like, I'm sitting on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when I took off a week from work for deer hunting, I missed class all that week, too.
And we
And
saw no deer.
Did you get anything?
yeah, dude, I got 3
Hell
deer
yeah.
in the freezer.
What the
I got
fuck?
summer.
Yeah.
I'll send y'all
Let's
all
go.
home with summer sausage. It's fucking
Sweet.
delicious.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But all week, man, I would wake up from my nap about the time that we were about to go back out to the stand. We'd get back, you know, waking up at 3 to go out there until, you know, 9, 10 o'clock, come home, sleep till like 2, go back out, get home at 5, and I was just fucking wore out, man. Ready to go to sleep, to get up at 3
Sitting
again.
around all day in a tree stand and shit.
Yeah, so I'd be like trying to go to sleep. I'm like, man, I feel like a piece of shit for not going to class, but I just had to have sleep. That's all it was.
Yeah, it's definitely the hardest part.
It's
is
life.
going,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's
It's
it's like an
definitely-
internal guilt factor because it's like I'm missing out is what it was. I was
Fear of
missing
missing
out, yeah. And I missed out on the anaconda, which I had to be taught how to do. You guys, you showed me how to do that. So
And to be honest, I mean, I'm a 9-to-5er work wise. Jiu-jitsu is more or less a hobby for me.
Mhm.
You know,
And you're good as fuck at it. Just
I
so you
don't
Yes.
listen
Oh,
to
you
these
are
so
good as
sweet.
fuck.
He's good as
Don't listen
fuck
to
at
these
it,
guys. I mean, my aspirations are just to continue to do it until I can't do it anymore. You know, so if I can get in the gym 3 days a week and work, and again going back to getting rid of all that anxiety and, you know, that shitty work week, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, my wife says, get the fuck out of the house, you're being an ass, go do, you know,
Yeah.
that's me. So you just gotta find something little. Okay, I'm going back tonight. I don't
Right.
want to miss it. Like you said,
Don't wanna miss
I
it.
don't want to miss. What are we
Yeah.
learning tonight? Because Josh's program. I mean, we do something on a month basis, right? But during that month, we start adding little details here, there, and if you miss that one day where they showed that one detail,
Yeah.
you're lost.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's kind of where what keeps me going back is, you know, I just want to learn as much as I can.
yeah,
Especially while I can, you know, and from such an awesome instructor. I mean, if anybody has ever considered doing jiu-jitsu and just kind of, whenever I'll come back to it, do it now while they have the resource available to them here in town, because it's, you know, I had to drive 45 minutes 4 days a week back and forth, so that's like an hour and a half of my time to go train. You know, now it's 10 minutes across town.
yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot of people, they want to compare themselves to people like Gordon Ryan because he's so active on social media about him training full time. But a lot of
He's definitely a pioneer in
yes.
jiu-jitsu right now.
But for a lot of people, that's not viable. Like Nicky Ryan got pulled out of high school.
I played Fortnite with him, by the way.
Yeah. like Nicky Ryan got pulled out of high school, and he's able to train full time. A lot of people don't have that, that opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Josh, now he right now he can't train full time.
I mean, at the beginning, I fucking
Right.
had three jobs.
2 or
and I
3
was
times a week, maybe. And look how good he is. Gordon Ryan actually told him he thinks he's the best grappler in the world because of how little he trains and how good he is and the amount of instruction he has.
Yeah.
Gordon Ryan has access to the world's best instruction, and he's there 8 hours a day. And he grinds.
That dude's a fucking monster.
I mean, he has more.
That dude's a monster, man. He's a fucking monster.
And it's just the work.
I mean, I can't compare myself to somebody like that.
No.
And this thing about the jiu-jitsu is everybody's on their individual path, right? Mine's not the same as his, it's not the same as Josh's. It never will be because, where we're at in life is completely different.
Yeah.
But the knowledge is still there. The ability to go in and train is still there. You can still have a little piece of that, you know, even if it is on a part-time basis, And I think that's wonderful that we can have that ability to do that. There's something in town that somebody can provide for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you wanted to pursue the competition route, man, all you got to do is fucking want to and show the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Just show up. Just show up. Yeah.
Well, I think what's crazy about all three of you guys tonight, especially, is every time you guys have complimented each other, you've all been like, nah. Like, you're so humble. But, like, all three of you guys sitting here could just destroy 98% of people who walk up to you on the street. But every time they're like, you're just a savage, man. They're like, nah, fuck it, nah.
Because we're aware of people that are better than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I just assume everybody's a savage.
Yeah.
That's probably a smart
what I
assumption.
assume. No, for sure. Could you imagine underestimating, like me and my situation, like with my brother, underestimating the 5'5", 5'4", 135-pound kid? To me, it's my little brother. He looks like a little, punk. But not now. But then he just beats your ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
It's humbling. I mean, not only that, it's the fact that it teaches you not to just lose your cool because if I didn't know you guys and there's an altercation, I don't know if you guys are CC carriers. I don't know if you have a gun on you.
For sure.
So what's the point of me losing my shit over something that really doesn't matter in the long run? You know what I'm saying?
And in the grand scheme of things, you should respect everybody anyways.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you should respect everybody anyways.
Right.
So that's if anybody wants to learn a lesson about what martial arts in general do for you is the fact that you just respect everybody. I mean, it's such a
no matter what path
no matter
you walk,
right?
You know what I mean. No matter what, like your blue collar, whatever financial class you're in, whatever, man. You're on the mat. It's raw as fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's just us.
And life
it's
is,
just us, man. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what's going on outside of that
Life
building.
is too short to have to worry about fucking stupid stuff like you pulled out in front of me or you didn't signal or whatever the stupid shit is.
People get mad.
Right. It's like you get mad over but what? I mean, at the end of the day, you still fucking pulled out in front of me. It doesn't solve anything. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just learning how to control yourself because there's always these two guys right here, if we were to be rolling on the mat, they can destroy me.
Shit.
No, I'm listening to this right here.
Yes, here it is again.
Listen. It's just it's that misperception of what you have of everybody else. It's like I don't know you. If I didn't know these guys, I'm just like fuck you guy, and it'd be over, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So it's that's what jiu-jitsu is.
It's also
just
like
respect for everybody.
It has like that like sports feel to it. So like
it is, man.
If I were to face off against you 10,000 times, one of those times I'm going to win.
Probably. Yeah.
So there's a chance in there. No matter
Your odds are better than that.
No, 1 in 10. 1 in 10,000.
You don't figure me out, I will fuck up a bit.
But there's always always that feel. So it doesn't matter, like, you know, if you look around the room every night when it's time to roll with somebody, and you're like, he's too big, he's too small, you know, it doesn't matter, because that small guy's gonna fuck you up just the same as that big guy will. And that's what's awesome, is that it just levels the playing field.
Yeah, and plus at the end of the day, our goal, like what I tell kids, like I go back to teaching kids, like the kids like, well, I don't want to roll with him, he's too big, or I don't want to drill with him, he's too big, or I don't want to, you know, do any live drilling. I'm like, look, can you pick the bully? You know what I'm saying? Can you pick what size that bully is? No, you can't.
Exactly.
You can't pick the altercation that you get into.
Right.
You can't pick if it's Marshall Sanders who decides to destroy you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't choose that. So, but the thing is, are you?
-year-old and kissing Marshall Sanders off?
You know what I mean?
It's like Karen that comes to the gym. Karen's a savage. And
She's fucking amazing.
And whenever women
Karen is a savage, man.
Yeah,
whenever
she's
women come into
tough
the
chick,
gym,
man.
it's a little weird because you
She
don't know.
influences me, man. Like,
Yeah, you don't know their MO. So the first time she grabbed me, I was like, all right, this bitch is for real. and it's like, so I don't cut her any slack.
Yeah.
There's 3
And
chicks
you
I'm afraid
can't.
of in this life. Is my mom, my wife, Karen.
Very important. And it's like, I tell women who come into the gym who don't really want to roll with guys, I'm like, look, I get it, and I want you to be comfortable so you drill with girls, but what is, you know, why are you training for self-defense? Okay. Imagine Josh coming down the fucking alley.
Right. You're gonna have to
Well,
you're gonna have to defend yourself from a woman or a man
Exactly.
in more than one scenario.
And when I do like women's self-defense seminars, like what I tell them is, I'm like, look, when you go train, like right now we don't have a huge women's class. That's my goal, is to have a women's only class. You know, I definitely would like to be an advocate of sports jiu-jitsu for them, just so they can see the sports side of it, because you know it is a big thing and it's growing. You know what I mean? But like, you can't choose whether, you know what I'm saying, you can't choose if it's a guy that's assault. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you can't choose that. So that's the whole thing, is like, you're in a controlled environment. You know what I'm saying? It's a controlled environment, and everybody's in here to help, and we understand that. I mean, it's nothing's beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So it's controlled. Now we can break through those thresholds. You know what I mean? And be comfortable in that, you know, the cliche, like, uncomfortability. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal there. And like Karen, man, bro, she'll fuck somebody up. She'll fuck somebody up.
100%.
Good luck.
I came home, my first
inspiration.
day of class,
for sure.
I came home and told Lacey, I was like, there is a woman in there who is a fucking monster.
Well, even before
I
she
didn't
got
even
into
expect to see women in there.
Yeah.
Like, period. I didn't expect to see any women in there. I was like, it's a room full of dudes all fucking each other up. There's not going to be any women in there. And then you see Karen in there. I was like, holy shit.
I mean, honestly, though,
Yeah.
you guys know the anxieties that you went through as a guy.
Imagine her.
Imagine as a
Imagine
female.
that.
And not that,
females
like
in there.
Karen, you know, like Karen, she's what? How old is Karen?
I don't want to say
20,
Karen.
No, you know, she won't give. She won't
She's
give a
about
fuck.
19,
She's in her
20.
She's in her 40s. She won't give a
24.
fuck. You know what I'm saying? But she's in her 40s training with guys. You know what I'm saying? Like in their 30s and in their late 20s and stuff like that. Like Karen's in there, like rolling with those guys.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100% rolling with those guys. If you don't know what rolling is, that's just sparring,
Yeah.
and we're just not punching each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Karen's a fucking savage.
And
Yeah.
she calls us family. And she comes out with us,
sure.
she hangs out with us.
Because that's what it is, man.
And
It
it's-
is all family.
She comes in.
Something that won't end because you graduated high school.
She comes in, and it's like, we don't look at her as a woman, we look at her as a training partner.
100%.
And that's not all. That's
women.
and that's
Tamika, you know.
and then, you know, everybody in our gym, yes, but that's not all women, because it's your attitude that, you know, reflects how we approach you. You know what I'm saying? If a woman comes in there, she's
Fucking Tamika, man. God.
Tamika's a savage. She trains twice a day. She's an attorney for Davis County,
In Owensboro.
and she is
She's
a
like-
savage.
yeah.
Her and her husband. Her
She's
and her
a
husband both.
twig. Like, she's small.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's a fucking mean.
And
It's a mean twig.
Yeah.
So I'm a social worker, right? So I
Yeah.
had to go to court one day, and her husband is an attorney too. He sits down. He's like, "All right, man, give me some names to where I can study some stuff and help Tamika out." I'm like, "Damn, that's awesome." You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
he really he doesn't train, but he has interest in it because his wife has interest in it.
Right.
You know, and he says the benefit of it. And she sees the benefit of it. She comes in twice a day, and he wants to help her. And I was like, all right, look at Marcelo Garcia. You got Hodger Gracie. You got, you know, look at Josh's videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was telling her to look at, you know, all the competition videos of Worlds and ADCC. And she's a fucking sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, my theory is people who are smart succeed at this. Like him, being a fucking geek, World of Warcraft, his brain's different. So he breaks down stuff different and a lot easier than I would because I'm a fucking retard. Okay?
It's those ginger jeans.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking dumbass.
Low IQs.
You know what I mean?
A lot of perspiration, a little of the downs. It just all
Yeah.
slips in there.
Yeah, I sweat too much. I started sweating. I'm like,
You
fuck,
poor,
what am I
poor
doing
man,
now?
you.
I get that. That's awesome that he does that for her, though.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
great. And he was talking to me like, man, this is great because a lot of times women come into a male dominated field and their husbands don't like that.
Right. They're
So Philip came in with Jamaica one day and just sat and watched. And obviously the atmosphere was what he liked because he hadn't been back since, but he's still trying to help her outside the gym.
yeah.
And still
That's
trying
amazing.
to push her to come in.
Yeah.
And that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. And like people who are smart, they succeed in breakdancing because you have full body movement and you have full body control.
Control of each individual muscle.
Stephen Clark is a very good dancer. Stephen Clark won't come in for 6 months. Then he'll come in and be a fucking savage. You're like,
That asshole.
asshole.
Yeah. I take 6 months off, man. I'm gonna be dropping about
That and Adam Jones. Adam Jones is extremely smart, and he'll come in. He'll take a hiatus for like 3-4 months. He'll come in and more technique, and I'm like, where'd this come from? Whatever.
Man, it's
He'll
funny.
give his whole tank.
It's funny to hear that her husband does that for her. Like, I'll come home and I'm like, Lacey, let me show you this Kimura real quick. Hey, Lacey, check out this north-south choke we just learned. And she's not down,
Yeah.
Understandably.
Which I don't know what they do at their house. I don't know if she
Yeah.
practices triangles on him and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, she
But-
drew the line one night. We were all cut up in bed and lights were off, about to go to sleep. And she's like, what are you doing to my arm? Nothing, just...
That's not jujitsu.
It's a razor.
Yeah. Listen, it's all in the hips.
She's been trying to tell you that for years.
So funny story.
So you were talking about penetration tonight. I told Chase, I said, I don't know about you, but 3 inches is about all I got. Listen, I get nothing but complaints, and I'm not proud of it.
Megan, my wife, she goes, about 3 months ago, your hips got really heavy. I'm like, yes! That's exactly what I
Sprawling,
want.
got it down.
Then I was like, my bad. You should have told me beforehand.
So like, damn, you didn't have to sprawl on me like that.
We're still waiting for our thank yous for that, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we helped you get those hits.
Well, you can say you're sorry to Megan.
So we owe her apologies.
Yes.
That's how you got that shin bruise.
Oh, hell.
You got to drive your hips to
But
the
all
mat.
that pressure I learned from this motherfucker right here, I'm like,
Yeah.
no. It's like, and it's funny because you learn a lot, like, just from straight technique, but you learn more from getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Because he fucks me up every time we roll, and I learn so much. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we fuck each other.
I got choked out twice with the same choke by this dude. Still have no idea what it's called. But I
just
learned how to
an
do it because I got choked out with it. And
It's just a head
won.
and arm.
A head and arm choke, yeah.
Just squeezing your head. I learned that in wrestling. And
Yeah, and
it's
you
not
just
even-
rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing fancy, but it won, And so, I don't know, man. I'm just fascinated with it all. I have a good time.
I'm glad
going
you.
in
I'm glad you guys finally came.
Yeah.
Came in and like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm having fun finally learning takedowns, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god! In sparring, I will just we learned sprawling and the chin strap. So I didn't know any takedowns, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna let him try to take me down, and I'm just gonna sprawl on him." So like me and Valentino, we were sprawling the other day, or sparring the other day, and that's what I did. I was letting him take me down, and I would just sprawl and get him in a chin strap and work from there and take his back. And he's like, "Why are you taking me down?" I was like, "I don't know how to do that, man."
Well, ask him how much training he's had with wrestling.
Yeah.
And he double-legged Jake Shields.
Who's Jake? Shit?
Yeah, man. When we went up to New York, training with Jake Shields, training with Gordon and all those guys. Man, that was amazing. Like amazing to do. Like anybody in Owensboro, like we're going up there. We're affiliated with Henzo Gracie, Tom Deblass, and like we have an amazing team, right? And we have some of the best in the world, and it might be like a small, small part of the population because jiu-jitsu is very, it's small in comparison. But like the team that we're associated with, like man, like the sky's the limit. Like some of these guys are gonna end up like GSP's trains at Renzo Gracie's in New York, you know,
That's
Manhattan,
insane, man.
at Renzo's. You know what I'm saying? So like just connection to that. Like that's Owensboro, Kentucky. We go up there and we train. You know what I'm saying? And we stay at Nikki's house and we go train at Renzo's Academy. And then we're able to come back and convey anything that we learned, or even just rolling the experience. Because like when you roll something, you learn shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a big advocate of like if I like competition wise, like even competing against the high level guys, like I learn every time I roll, you know, like that. Like when I went to ADCC, I told those guys, like, because everybody asked me how to feel, you know, going against the legends and all that. And I'm like, man, it was really like it took them off the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's a human. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We train, like, believe it or not, you go out there and you're already mentally defeated. You're screwing yourself. You know,
Yeah.
but now it's like I go roll with them and it's just they're another person. They're training.
Right.
You know, and now, but we got this direct connection to Tom Deblass, which amazing, inspirational dude in the community, and I'm just glad we're associated with him, and you know, and he connects us with Renzo Gracie, then Gordon Ryan and everything, and I went up there, you know, and being able to wrestle and implement the things that I learned, like my friend Eric Garhalis, I met in Gracie, Tampa. He was a 4-time All-American, wrestled for Michigan, and he was third in NCAA 4 years in a row, and you know, I met this guy like down in Tampa, and then he teaches me wrestling and everything like that. Then I go up there and I wrestle with Jake Shields. Like, you know, I watched him growing up. You know what I mean? At Owensboro, Kentucky. And then I go up there and wrestle with him, and I take him down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He submits me. You know what I mean? Like, we have good roles, but like it's a real fucking thing. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And out of, you know, coming from Owensboro, Kentucky, everybody in Owensboro's like, man, you know, shit like that's not, shit like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, but
Destination City.
You almost
But
have to disassociate
Yeah.
with the names.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, you gotta, like, I don't know who the fuck that guy is, you know?
But like, you know, that's our team, and I don't know, man. Like I'm just glad to be back in Owensboro and be able to, you know, give back to the community. You know, whether anybody sees it or not, I don't know. My goal is to help some kid get to college because you know we're in there grappling, we're wrestling. You know, KWC just started a wrestling program. You know, and if some kid goes to college because they traded Gracie Owensboro, because they started grappling, then they got into wrestling from that avenue. Because when I went to high school, wrestling wasn't there. You know, I'm just trying to impact the youth. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Not only that is, you just name dropped Nicky Ryan. I mean,
Fucking monster, man.
fuck yeah,
Kid's
he's
16
fucking
years
16,
old.
16, 17, you know, already competing.
He was
on a
fucking
world stage,
14,
right.
fucking up the world-class
You know,
jiu-jitsu guys.
Damn it.
That's jiu-jitsu. Like, I mean, yeah, it's right now it's small, but I mean, it's growing.
And he's good at
Yeah.
Fortnite.
You know, it's growing exponentially. You know what I'm saying? There's an avenue for somebody to go. Hey, I want to do jiu-jitsu. I want to be professional at this.
Well, you talk
Yeah.
about Eddie Bravo. People know Eddie Bravo, right? That if you don't, you know, what I mean? He's
will
connected.
eventually.
He's connected to Joe Rogan, JRE, their Joe Rogan Experience.
Right.
He started the EBI, which created the funnel with the submission grappling circuit into the UFC. Now it's connected with the UFC Fight Pass. So now you got jiu-jitsu, right? You got the mainstream jiu-jitsu, or you got jiu-jitsu, which is mainly in the gi. Then you have the submission-only circuit, and you got Eddie Bravo's a pioneer, and now it's connected to the UFC.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like a growing thing, and we're kind of in the golden ages of it all, and like we're just all a part of that.
Now, do you prefer gi or no gi?
I like it all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect.
But if you had to pick one for the rest of your days,
I like them both. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I would say, oh, I'm gonna do no gi, whatever. I respect the traditional aspect of it, you know, because we started out doing a lot of MMA, a lot of sub-only jiu-jitsu, but then once we got into the gi, I hated the gi because it sucked.
Asked him 3 years ago.
Yeah, because it sucked. You know what I mean? Like even
I don't like
when
it
we
right
first
now.
started at Nice Guy,
Yeah.
like we started with Josh Johnson, then we went to Sean Hammonds and all that. But it sucked. But I mean, I like being challenged. You know what I'm
I
saying?
almost don't like the fact that you can use it to control somebody. I don't like being controlled
that's the
by
thing,
the
it's a-
clothing.
it's
You know
a
what
great-
I mean? Like when somebody grabs the wrist cloth, I'm like, oh, dude, fuck you.
But it's a training tool. It's supposed to make it suck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't suck, then we're not training right. That's the way I
Right.
look at it. Because the whole goal is to get better, so it should suck. If it's easy, then fuck it, we're not doing it right.
Well, just
Yeah.
thinking
You know what I
also
mean?
that way is we train
That's
in
the way I
the
look
gi
at it.
because, well, let's say you got in a confrontation and
You're gonna be wearing clothes.
Yeah.
He's got. Look at this. It's cold outside. No
Cross-collar
one's broke.
choke.
Right.
Oh, you pulled somebody in guard. Cross-collar. I just choked you out with a hoodie. I mean, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? I mean,
Go watch Chewy's. Go watch
Yeah.
Chewy's Halloween where they're grappling in suits. They just switch it up every year where they go to Goodwill and they buy a bunch of suits and they'll grapple. Everybody they'll buy dresses like Reese probably has. One in his
Reed's
closet.
got a prom dress going on.
You got that prom dress
Probably
on
got a
deck when you
veil.
wear it.
Yeah.
Right, but they'll
Corsage.
grapple. If you don't know, so jiu-jitsu, you look him up. They grapple in just to show that you can utilize some gi chokes and stuff like that against somebody. I can grab your shirt, and use that against you.
This is
And, I mean,
definitely-
it sucks.
Hockey,
Yeah, hockey 100. Yeah, man. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
Man, that was one of the most frustrating things. Is me and Chase had more of a foundation and knowledge of like groundwork, like watching UFC fights, than most of our friends do. And so when we were watching the McGregor-Khabib fight, everybody, like we had a big party over here, and everybody was expecting this like stand-up brawl fest. And I was like, dude, if you know anything about Khabib, that's not what's gonna happen. And so when he took it to the ground and just was working McGregor, everybody's like, this is fucking lame. I'm like, because you don't understand what's going on.
Here's a spectator
yeah.
sport, though.
If you
That's
want to
why I
watch
don't
strictly
watch
striking
UFC.
fights, you go watch boxing or you
Kickboxing.
Yeah,
Glory,
yeah.
Go watch
Glory's out.
K1.
Go watch that.
yeah.
Wait. Go watch Glory.
Glory's
Yeah,
the
go,
shit.
yeah, go watch that.
Go watch Glory.
Right,
see dudes
right.
get
I think there's the magic, if you want to call it magic, of somebody taking a fight and putting it on the ground and controlling it the
Yeah,
way
man.
that Khabib did,
Yeah.
and just somebody who was just out of their element.
Yeah.
And just
It's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
that's
you're the best.
tiring.
You're the best. I'm gonna make you do what I
Connor
want
did
you to
good
do.
though. He defended the strikes
Right,
from bottom
right.
and everything like that.
But-
Yeah.
But most people aren't educated. They
Yeah.
don't see what's
Yeah.
happening. Like he
Right.
did good eliminating the damage that he could take.
Hey, and the crazy thing was Khabib made Conor look silly on the feet as well, in many ways more than when he
he
dropped him.
But because he had to respect his
Yeah.
ground
Yep.
game. Only because of that. That's the only reason he got caught with the right hand.
Yep.
But if Khabib had no ground game, then he probably would have fucking knocked him
Yeah.
out.
think
Yep.
about this.
You know?
though.
Being a full fighter, you know.
Yeah.
You got Anderson Silva knocks people out. You got Ronda Rousey who armbars people. Okay, and people say, oh, well, they see Anderson Silva fight, they knock him out. Oh, he's a badass.
Right.
They see Ronda Rousey armbar people. She's a one-trick pony.
Right.
So
You're just a hater.
you're just a hater. Stop the shit.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're complaining about Khabib taking you down a mall and you fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Right? Work on your wrestling. Work your sprawling and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking stop it.
Hopefully you have the conditioning.
What-
Just you got 5
Yeah.
rounds with that motherfucker.
What I loved is that I think Khabib's seen that coming. He's seen that insult coming to him. So in the third round, he did it all standing up. And then fourth round, he's like, all right, I'm fucking done.
You're also talking about a guy who's been wrestling since he was
3 years old, right?
Wrestling fucking bears.
Yeah.
I think you can make up striking in a couple years
Yeah.
on top of a ground game. It's hard to flip that in my
Right.
personal opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro or anything, but you see guys trying to do that. Come in as a striker and now let me try to add in 20 years of ground.
Grappling.
Yeah.
Prime example.
can't do it.
You can't do that.
DC,
It's-
holy shit.
DC's
You got
prime
Olympic
example.
level wrestler. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And
He
he didn't
gotta
have-
respect his ground game.
He didn't have to work on wrestling. He has so many people shook about his wrestling and going to the ground like
Yeah.
Khabib. He can work a stand-up.
Right.
I mean, just look what he did to Josh Barnett back in.
He just fucking
yeah,
body
he-
slammed
oh,
Josh
man.
Barnett.
Slammed
That's a
Barnett.
hell of a man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barnett's
that's
not
a hell of a
Barnett's
man.
not a
Yeah.
joke
Warrior
of a
Chris, that son
grappler.
of a
I mean,
bitch,
he's an OG.
Over
Yeah, man.
Hey
MMA
man, if he
guy.
gets a high crotch, if Daniel Cormier gets a high crotch on any human being on the planet, they're going up over his head. It's crazy, man. That's
He's
Olympic
also
style.
5'5".
star.
He's
Yeah.
got that base.
World star.
But I mean, you're talking about Olympic level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
can
for
teach
sure.
people how to strike quickly.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that's.
Well, look
that's
at
easy
John
to do.
Jones. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's a high level grappler,
Right.
but he's
Also high-level
Never mind.
cokehead.
He's a freak of nature.
He's exception
Yeah,
to
he's
every
a freak-
single
he's
rule.
And I mean,
definitely
he
an
is actually like physically one of the most gifted human beings as far as martial arts or any sport really. Where you had
Genetics. The dude's got the fucking.
his whole family is
Yeah.
his brothers are in the NFL. He's a UFC champion. I mean, just he's like what 6'4" with like an 84-85 inch
He
reach.
does cocaine and fucks people up.
It's
hard to lose when you can't feel your legs.
No slander in here. I don't want to catch a law. You guys got good lawyers.
He likes being fucked up
I like
so much
John
he's
Jones.
not ready to be
The
sober.
the crazy thing, I watched him try and dunk a basketball. The funniest thing
Yeah,
I've
I've
ever
seen
seen.
that video, yeah.
He
He
tried to
can't
dunk
dunk.
a
He can't
basketball
dunk.
and he
Guy, he's
couldn't.
got no lead.
6'4", 84 inch reach, and he just hits the rim and falls down.
That's what people are like, oh, you're a fucking pussy. What?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You definitely don't talk shit to him after he.
No. You're like, hey, let me show you how to do that. You were jumping wrong, bro. You just got to jump with both your feet. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, he's definitely super talented, like from the get go. But yeah, that base started in grappling. That gave him the ability, in his early years, like when even like before the UFC, you saw him throwing dudes, you saw him, grabbing dudes, and you can tell the difference between a guy, especially if you're watching UFC. Like if you're watching UFC or some lower like 1FC or anything like that, you can tell the difference between guys who grab guys who have like real grappling experience and guys who don't. And you can even, if you're watching hard enough or if you've been exposed to it enough, you can kind of tell what kind of grappling they've been exposed to. You can kind of tell that guy's wrestled before. Oh, that guy's a jiu-jitsu badass. That guy, he's a Muay Thai striker, the way he's holding that clinch. Or, you see that stuff, and a lot of the casual fans don't see it, and it becomes really boring to them.
Like Randy Couture, it's really funny because he was so good at Greco-Roman, and everybody automatically associated Greco-Roman with Randy Couture. He was the only guy that ever seen him push somebody up against the cage and everybody start cheering. Because they know somebody's about to get the fuck beat out of him.
I mean, he turned that into dirty boxing easily. It was crazy how well he turned Greco-Roman. Like, he took that grappling base and turned it into something that made him dominant in the sport for years in multiple weight classes.
Dan Henderson, too, they came from the same spot.
Yep, Greco-Roman for him as well.
I mean, even go back to like the old Gracie Challenge shit. I mean, if you've ever watched any of the Gracie Challenge videos, I mean, you'd have these so-called karate guys and ninjutsu shit.
death touch.
and I mean, go if anybody has not watched those, just go watch that and just see the effectiveness of grappling. Just to be able to isolate and control these guys who all they have is a striking foundation. And honestly, you watch some of those videos, you're like, it's not a very good striking foundation to begin with. But I mean, and be able to control somebody like that and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's what, in my opinion, that's what grappling and jiu-jitsu is about.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should just watch Gary Tonin.
Yeah.
Man.
Apparently, he's a badass fucking striker, too, that I didn't fucking know about until he was like, let me do MMA and fuck some dudes up all the way around.
Athletic and,
He's
he's going to be good at whatever
He's
he
a
does.
beast. Yeah.
And he works his ass off.
Base and
Wait,
grappling.
Those guys
Works his ass
live. They live this shit.
I mean, you're not talking to just talent. There's a lot of talented people.
Right. Well,
But you're talking talent plus grinding 10, 12 hours a day, man. That's what makes
You're
an
talking
athlete.
grind, like crazy grind.
Right.
We're not talking about just grind. You're talking about dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't look like that from
full-time
just
job plus
talent.
overtime.
Going
You
up
look like
there
that
and
from
training
hard
with those
fucking
guys,
work.
going up there and training with Gary and all them, man, and seeing them wake up at 5, like we get up 5:30, drive to get to catch the train downtown, New York to Manhattan, you know what I'm saying, and just to train at 7 o'clock, wake up at 5 just to catch the train, get there at 7 and train with Danaher, you know what I mean, then go eat lunch, then get back, maybe take a nap on the mat and train at 12, you know what I mean, then after that, man, you're talking about like 2 hours, though. You're talking about just consistent training. Yeah. Then leave, go drive back, then go train at Gary's gym. You know what I mean? Like, then train again. Like, you're talking 7 days a week, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
people want to say Nicky Ryan was a prodigy. Danaher's like, no, he's not a prodigy.
he works hard
his
as
ass
fuck.
off.
That's the thing, man. You just show up and you work. You just work. Like, it's hard work. Just work fucking hard.
How many
That's
talented
it.
people have you seen? You've seen a lot of talented people. Have you seen talented people consistently come back and keep grinding? There's the big difference between talent and just drive.
Not everybody has that
We know a
drive,
couple
man.
people that come into the gym just every once in a while
Yeah.
and they just leave and think they're good. Think they're better than everybody else.
No.
That's not
I
the
hate
attitude
that
you
too,
need to have.
man. I
anyway.
hate that.
That's not
because
that.
we
hate
want to
that.
help those people. Because they come in and while they're here, they're great training partners. Then they're only there for a day and they leave.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been there, man. I've seen it. And personally, you know, you have somebody that's got talent.
You guys will
Man,
see
you
it,
want to
man.
help them so much, but there's, you know, hey, how many phone calls can you make? How many text messages you say, hey man, where you at? And then not just jiu-jitsu, there's other stuff as well, man.
Yeah.
People, there's talent, there's raw talent, and then there's just people who just they don't have any roadblocks. You know, they see a wall, they bust through it, and then you know.
Wait till you
that's
guys are in
mentality you
there.
see at the high levels, man.
Wait till you guys are gonna be a part. I mean, you know, you continue to come in and wait till we get into MMA and you start seeing an actual training camp and the guys go
So
through.
is that public as far as the move and everything?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't want to bring
I'm
it
not.
up. I
I'm
didn't
not
know if
sure
you're-
about like because it's not on my end. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I'd say it's a 95% chance. I mean, it's definitely being talked about.
But,
But
we say
I'm not gonna
for
say
pretty
anything.
good
I'm not gonna
certainty,
say anything
We're
official.
moving to a
Me
bigger
personally.
facility. We'll
Yeah,
say
we're
that.
definitely moving to a bigger
moving
facility.
to a bigger facility, expanding the program a bit.
Yeah,
Things like that.
100%, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, we're
That
gonna
is gonna be
have
great for you.
the fundamental striking program, the MMA program. and
Man,
everything
Mondays
like
it's hard to find a spot on the mat.
that. Yeah,
Well,
You know?
You get to Thursday and where everybody at though?
yeah, but I
he
mean,
said-
we work hard, man, the
Yeah,
whole week. You know
that's-
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
everybody
I
has
get it.
different
Still, I just-
schedules. It's
even,
just-
even for Thursdays though. I mean,
Yeah.
used to maybe, you know what,
Couple?
5-10 people going. Now we're getting to where like there's 20. 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mondays,
it's
of course,
awesome
is like
to see
40
people.
people on your mat. You're like, some of you guys need to leave.
Mondays
you
is
guys are
hard.
to work.
Yeah. Like, on Mondays we come in and you're like, all right guys, we're doing train wrecks. I'm like, are you
But
sure?
my thing is this: in Owensboro alone, I know there's a lot of people that talk about training jiu-jitsu that want to sit there and come in there, sit there and think they're a badass or whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't come in the gym. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Just fucking show up. You know what I'm saying?
Like Joseph.
Show-
Joseph said he wanted
Joseph
to fight December.
Borman.
Yes.
Yeah, Borman.
He said he
man.
wanted to fight
He's been
December.
around here.
And I said, okay, that's fine.
He said
But-
jiu-jitsu is life, by the way.
He's a fucking hard worker,
Yes,
man.
he
Show
said-
the. He's awesome.
He said, I want to fight in December. I said, okay, that's fine, but we're not going to be able to corner you because I want to be involved in every single
Every
aspect
aspect.
of his training, okay? And it's not OCD. It's like I want him to be on the level as Jason Hayden, okay? That's my when I look at, you know, when I say, okay, Jason Hayden's up here. When he walked to the cage, I was like, what's he gonna fuck this dude up with, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knew who Jason was. So my goal is for everybody who come out of that gym to be as good as Jason.
Well, and plus you're talking about Jason. Like Jason had, like if you think about his career, he had 9 amateur fights, went 9-0. He had a total of like 12 fights. He went 3-1 as a pro.
Yeah.
Like all those fights happened in a year.
Yes.
Think about that.
He's fighting
Talk
like
about
crazy.
dedication in that.
That's not
training.
even a camp.
Yeah,
That's just,
man. Like
That-
that's just
that fight
fucking
going in the
grinding.
cage.
Yeah, your fights
man.
are your camps.
Yeah,
man.
bro.
So Joseph
And he did
comes
that
in.
young too, didn't he? He wasn't
Yeah,
even-
man. Well, I mean, you know, you can't fight till you're 18, but you know, like by the time he was 19, you know what I'm saying? He had 14 fights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
Phenomenal.
think about that, man.
Well, and what
He
you're-
fucking was in there working, and all his training partners were 205 to
Yeah.
365 pounds.
And I think that's kind of what your goal is. You know, we got some kids in there that may potentially want to do that. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, as soon as you hit,
you got amazing fighters. in
as soon as
fucking
you hit
Owensboro,
this
man.
age, you're going to be ready
Yeah.
to roll right into it. And there's going to be no doubt in anybody's mind that you're going to go out there and
Dude, that kid in there that was in there the other night when
Dawson?
you played dodgeball.
Oh my god,
Dude,
Yeah.
he's got some fucking.
Well, thing is, you
promise,
go
man.
through our jiu-jitsu program, like, you know, like the way we were introduced to it was, you know, you earn your right to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Respect the ground game enough to do it, then earn your right to stand. You want to
Yeah.
stand up? Cool, stand up, but learn how to get off the ground first.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised at how hard that is to do. Like, earn your right to stand up, then okay, cool, stand up. But you go through the jiu-jitsu program, you know, like, you're going to be good to go, man. Like, good luck. You know, if you survive that, man, the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sky's the fucking limit for you.
It's like back to Joseph. It's like he comes in, grinds. I try to kill this kid because I want to mentally
Because his goals. you know
because
what I'm
his,
saying?
yeah, exactly.
Because of his goals.
I want to mentally break him, but I can't.
Yeah.
So my goal is like
Yeah.
I want to mentally break this kid, but I can't because he's such a savage. Because he has goals and he's going to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And being an instructor, being a teacher, our goal is to meet your goal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And
So
hold you accountable and be that system.
Exactly.
That's to
So
help you
I
get
want to
there.
do
Yeah.
whatever is necessary for him to meet that goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to approach him a little bit different than somebody else who don't want to compete because if he wants to be a savage, he wants to be an MMA. When he gets into deep waters, he ain't going to give up
Yeah.
because we're going to make him that mentally strong, and he's getting there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He came from a different gym. We don't know how he trained, but we want him to train the way we want to train.
And seeing those younger teenagers in the adult class, man, it's like I seen them in there at first. I was like, I don't know about this, but then they're rolling with dudes twice, 3 times their size.
Yeah.
And at the end, they're not even out of breath, dude.
Yeah,
They're
but
all
you think
fucking
about it like
hanging
this
in
though.
there, man.
Like with this is why I love jiu-jitsu. You're not gonna see, no disrespect to any other martial art, but you're not gonna see a fucking 12-year-old that's a black belt.
Right.
You're not gonna see that. And I'm saying he
Yeah.
shouldn't deserve that. He did the work, whatever. You paid your money, whatever.
And it's hard to see a 12-year-old that can whoop a 35-year-old's ass.
Yeah, but if you get a
You know what I mean?
16-year-old guy in blue, he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu because you're eligible for your blue belt at 16. I 100% believe that he could beat the shit out of some average person who doesn't train.
Lawson?
100%.
For sure.
You get Logan Kelly. Like, not even just, Lawson's, he's definitely getting there. You take Logan Kelly out of Kentucky, out of Florida, right? So we have a gym in Florida, and that's one of our affiliate gyms. Like, Travis has everything to do with, the atmosphere. Me and him, believe in what we're doing, and we're trying to reproduce that. But this is a kid that's been training with me and him since he was 14, right? Since he was 14 years old. And this kid, he wins adult tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's 14 years old. He's a $135.
That's ridiculous,
But
man.
he's beating adults. That's what I'm
Fucking
saying.
monster.
Like,
That's
but
what's
people,
so humbling about it.
people will say bullshit. But you fucking roll with that kid.
And there's almost a mental aspect to that too, because you're going to that match like, oh, he's a 14-year-old. Yeah, I'm
Hey.
about to train roll.
I tell you what,
Nicky
man.
Ryan,
and then you just destroy.
I tell you what,
shit.
from my wrestling experience, I will never underestimate a child, and I'll never underestimate a woman because I have watched women go out there and dominate the lower weight classes and make guys. Hey, I watched a woman make a man cry on the wrestling mat. Okay, and he was on my team too, and I was like, look, man, it's okay.
Let it out.
It happens.
But we're gonna have
look,
to get up
man,
at some
because
point.
wrestling is pretty ruthless because you can be getting.
wrestling's amazing too.
Wrestling is ruthless because with jiu-jitsu, you get put in an uncomfortable position, tap. Wrestling, I hate to break it to you, those referees don't look for taps. Because in wrestling, there's not really anything you can do to tap besides, please make a stop, sir, and you roll to your back. Okay, and if you don't roll to your back, the pain will continue.
Yeah.
So, I remember going to a competition. It was a competition in, I think it was Meade County or something like that. And in the 118-pound weight class, I was in 128. Okay, 118-pound weight class. This girl from Meade County, green single, I'll never forget, she made not one guy cry. She made 2 guys cry in front of their parents. Okay? In front of their parents. And they had to console them. Okay? So that taught me is just like, I'm glad she's not in my weight class, so I don't have to cry to all the guys on my team.
Yeah.
And they just an average girl off the street, but you can never underestimate those people, and you can just watching that happen in front of you, you're like, man, that humbles you. Not even, competing on the mat, that'll humble you, but just seeing it is like, oh, that's real. That happens.
Yeah, because that shit's happening.
Yeah, and, and you see kids do that.
You see in kids class, like if you ever come to our kids class,
Yeah.
We always catch the tail end of it because we get there at like 6:50,
Bro,
6:55.
the girls
You
fuck
see
the dudes up.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
those
see
girls
that-
are fucking
Mean
savages,
as fuck,
man.
And not only that, I mean, you guys come in on the tail end of the teens class. You should see some of the
To
little
kids class.
kids.
We got
Really?
6-year-old
6 to 10,
girls
yeah.
that beat the shit out of 9-year-old
man.
boys. Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Why-
Man.
When you come in next, try to find Shelby Bennett. She's one of my favorite girls to watch roll. So, story about her dad, Keith. He, awesome dude, awesome family.
Awesome people, man.
So her favorite technique is to take somebody's back and choke them, which is the king of all techniques, right?
Chase.
Short legs, I don't know nothing
So,
about it.
so parents started complaining, like, well, that's all she does. So Keith, her dad's like, hey, if you do some arm bars or like triangles, I'll give you $2 every submission you hit.
Nice.
She's
Okay.
like, all right. He said, I had to pay her $12 after that.
Man, it was there was one like a small blonde girl in there had I think a yellow belt on. She was going against a much bigger boy than her.
Lexi?
And fucked him up, dude.
No,
like
I
my
think
second or
Allie-
third day in
Allie
there.
is her name.
We
Bro,
watched
fucking
her, and I
monster,
was
man.
like,
love that girl.
I was in disbelief, man. She worked this
She's
kid.
a savage, yeah.
Finished
Bro.
him with an armbar. I didn't even know what the fucking armbar was. I was like,
Bro.
oh my god.
You got some kids in there, man. Like this one of our teenagers. I think she had surgery recently. Allie. Yeah, and she broke. It was a fucking, what was it called? Elite Air. She ended up hurting her leg.
Dude, I hurt myself at
a lot of people have. Like we have.
It's almost like it's a trampoline park or some
double
shit.
bounced me as soon as I landed. I
Yeah,
jumped
fuck
off
that
like a
place.
6 foot
Bro,
box.
but that girl's freaking amazing. I mean, she's amazing at jiu-jitsu.
I don't.
No, because she had surgery. I mean, she's in a
okay, yeah, I
cast
haven't
right
seen
now.
since
You
I've been
know.
helping
Was
out,
it a
yeah.
compound fracture or something?
No, not compound, but definitely fractured it. But she had to have surgery and put some pins in it and stuff like that. But man, that girl's a fucking machine, man.
Yeah.
Machine.
That's just
Amazing at jiu-jitsu.
huge
man. She's
difference
sky's the limit for her, for sure.
between other martial arts and karate, whatever. They don't spar. These kids, when they come in,
They spar.
I like
That's a good thing
seeing-
about jiu-jitsu,
yeah.
though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you have to respect an armbar.
You have to.
And and you have to respect the choke.
Yeah.
You have to. You know, worst case scenario, you go to sleep, you wake
Right.
up, whatever. But an armbar, you have to respect it. You're gonna fucking get your arm hyperextended, potentially broke. Luckily, we tap for them in classes. Man, teens and kids are the fucking meanest. They're the
Yeah.
meanest when
I
it
like
comes to
seeing
like defending themselves.
You guys doing the
Oh my
where you
God.
take like a piece of a white belt and they put it in their
Capture
belt?
the flag.
Yeah,
capture the
flag
flag.
type stuff,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
seeing that, man.
It's cool,
That's
man.
that's awesome because that makes them rely 100% on technique.
Becomes
Yeah.
a game for them, so
Yeah,
they get
yeah,
more
for sure.
entertained by
He's-
it.
sure, man.
Josh, he's got a ton of them too, and they keep things fresh. You know, you come
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
just especially with kids. The little kids.
They wanna
have
play
like
a game, yeah,
They've
they
got
want
like
it to
a
be fun.
30-second attention span,
Yeah.
and then you've lost them. So you've got to get what you need to
Yeah.
get it in, and then okay, game time. But the games are built around real life. Real
Yeah. They
scenarios
don't
and
realize
stuff.
what
They don't
they're
realize,
doing, man.
Yeah.
They don't realize what they're doing.
Until they start rolling, and then you see, okay, they're
Yo,
doing
they're
the same
fucking.
thing with the
When we
game.
did the
Yeah.
in-house, when we did the fundraiser, right? The kids were fucking amazing, man.
It was
They
awesome
were in
day.
there.
Yeah,
It was awesome to see them take each other down
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Like kids that you wouldn't think that would have the fire in them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But then you say, hey, look, it's competition. You know, because now we got competition class on Saturdays, and then they come in for the open, the fundraiser that we had. And bro, they were killing it, man. They were killing it. That was that was a beautiful
That's
thing.
awesome.
You know what impressed me the most about the kids that day was there was a couple that they come to the side and they were crying and they got submitted, whatever. And you're like, "Are you okay? Did you break your, is your arm okay? Whatever." No, it's fine. I'm like, "Well, what are you mad about?" It's like, I can't believe I lost.
Yeah.
They were so
Yeah.
mad that they didn't win.
They
It
let
wasn't the
themselves
fact,
down.
wasn't the
Was
fact
it-
that maybe
yeah.
their arm got tweaked a little bit or they got choked. They were just so upset that they didn't win, and then they go out and do another round, and you're like,
And
all right, that's that attitude that an 8-year-old kid has. They're upset that okay, I understand that my arm may be hurting a little bit, whatever, but they want to go back in and do it again and again and again and again. Man, you wish a lot of adults.
Yeah.
had
That's
that
why I love,
mentality.
man. I love the
Yeah.
kids.
and
I fucking love it.
I grew up playing
Cholo.
baseball a lot.
You can sit down if you want to, man. You ain't gotta stand there the whole time.
Okay,
All right. I just was just like, man, you can stand there.
It's chilling. It's chilling.
I got a random question for Josh real quick. Outside of our affiliation, who's your favorite guy that you've met through jiu-jitsu?
Through jiu-jitsu? Man, there's a lot.
Other than me. I mean,
Man, honestly, like straight up, because, and it's not because we decided, me and Travis decided to go under him, but Tom Deblass.
Well, outside of our affiliation.
outside of the
Outside,
affiliation,
yeah.
dang.
Like people who you did like seminars, and traveling and stuff.
Carlos Machado.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's a
Yeah.
like man, Carlos Machado, beautiful human being, man. You know what I'm saying? Like just his influence in jiu-jitsu and just how the hospitality being down there and just like his openness for outside knowledge. I understand how egotistical some gyms can be because of techniques, because it's real like cliquish or gang like almost like they're like you do this whatever, fuck you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Carlos Machado was like he's open for the growth of jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? But I mean you guys might not understand that, but like I don't know if you know who Carlos Machado is.
I know John Shock Machado.
Yeah, but he's one of his brother. You know what I mean?
well, that
But
is. I
down
know
in
that.
Texas, man, like
I know he's his brother.
like I'm out of Owensboro, Kentucky, and they're like calling me to do a seminar. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like that's crazy to me.
And you're like,
I'm
hey.
fuck yeah, I'll go do a seminar. Like, what am I gonna teach John? You know what I'm saying? Carlos Machado. But this dude, man, like hug. You know, man, it was crazy. Definitely Carlos Machado.
That's the mindset you have to have, though.
It's
You
crazy.
can't.
Surreal.
At no point can you ever, in my opinion, can you ever feel like you know everything about every
You're
position.
always a student, man.
Yeah.
You should always, no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like Cholo can probably attest to that. Like even like his craft of doing his pictures and stuff like that. But he's always studying. You know, he's always looking. He's studying what the
Yeah.
good
You
people.
can't see him, but he's not in his
Yeah,
head.
yeah. You can't.
Yeah,
see
he's
him, but
here.
Cholo Cinema. We're just building the suspense on when for Cholo.
He'll make his
We're
on-air
slow,
debut at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming.
You'll hear his chuckles every now and then, but.
But man, like definitely Carlos Machado, bro.
Circling back around to what you're saying about the kids is one thing. Like I grew up in baseball, and I've noticed even with the parents, like when I look around in there, all the parents have a different vibe about them than like in baseball. Like everybody want to fucking fight the ref and shit. Like they get way too
Listen,
crazy.
you got parents
okay.
living through their kids. Though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a parent too, but you got parents.
I
Living
don't
through
think
their kids.
Yeah.
anybody wants to fight a ref inside of a BJJ
Yeah, no.
school.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Because the majority of the time,
Yeah.
they're at least purple belts and up.
Yeah.
The majority
But
of
I'd
the
see
time.
like all the parents in there are just happy for all the kids participating. It seems like
Yeah.
there's not this like this tribalism going on that it feels like with baseball. You know?
I guess you can say it's kind of an honor that jiu-jitsu has that kind of mentality because it kind of it puts it in the same place as a basketball or football team that the parents are so into it. Same time, it's kind of there's a downfall to that because you'll get the parents that get way too invested.
Super invested.
And it's just
yeah.
like, listen, you've got world-class jiu-jitsu instructor right there. Let him
Yeah.
do his job.
Right.
Let
I
him,
promise you're not
right,
better than him.
Right. Your kids are okay. Just step back. Let the process happen. Your kids are going to be fine.
But I
You
feel
know
like
what I'm
that's
saying?
natural.
It is.
No,
you
for
guys,
sure.
you ever have an experience with parents that are just super overbearing? Like
Bro.
they're like, do not throw my kid. Like
No, well, as far as like us doing anything, no. But we got parents in there coaching their kids, and like I'm real lenient because I
seen
get it.
I seen a post by
Yeah.
Gracie Owensboro.
Well, it was just more so along the lines of like, look, it just makes it hard and distracting because like when you get into competition, all right, let's let's draw the line. Like that's competition. Your kids out there competing.
Yeah.
They should be used to my voice, not you.
You're the coach.
Now, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they don't know who to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm the one that's
dad or coach.
yeah. You know, and and I'm a dad too, so I get it.
Yeah.
But I also understand that there's an expert that
Yeah.
that I'm paying for this service.
Right.
But like you can't have the kid listen to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always say just hop on the mat. If you train, go ahead, coach your kid. Cool. Because our curriculums directly correlate. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
okay, cool. You're gonna learn the same shit. Then you might get better too. Because you can help, train your kid, whatever. But I don't get kids saying, because I don't yell at the
Still
kids.
though, when it comes to competition, you should probably just go ahead and let.
Yeah, well, just chill out. Yeah, because
take the sideline on this one, boss. You know?
well, because it's either gonna go right or it's either gonna go left. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
more
than likely
Like,
left.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just let me.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be
Let me
coaching your
handle it.
kid who technically outranks you in the system. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
But like Josh was saying, like if you coach your kid, come on the mat and roll
Yeah.
with a 6
Try
white
to do
belt.
what they're
Yeah.
fucking doing.
Right.
Try to go out there and do the techniques that they're doing.
And,
you know
and
what
it's
I'm saying?
funny because we, like G-Star, okay? G-Star has
Just
Jacob
the other way.
and Lily in there. Doesn't coach them at all. Lets Josh, Tony, Grace deal with them. When Sophia starts
That guy's a
training,
fucking savage.
fucking savage.
Yeah.
Look, I tell people all the time, he doesn't need jiu-jitsu, okay? Out
No,
of
he
everybody in that gym, he's the baddest
He
motherfucker.
boxed with Tony
okay?
Curtis.
He just knocked you out.
You know what I mean?
Fuck
Golden
it.
Glove, wasn't he?
All
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu
Junior
for him
Golden
is
Glove or something?
Yeah,
instruments.
he was Golden Glove
Right.
boxer. Yeah.
But whenever Sophia turns 5, I'm not going to coach her. I'm going to let these motherfuckers get hold of it.
Well,
You know
even
what
when
I'm saying?
my kids are in class personally, because it's your kid. Like I get frustrated with my kid. You know what I'm saying? At times,
Yeah.
like better. Or whatever. So I'd be way more comfortable dealing with Fish dealing with them or Coach Grace dealing with them, just because I don't know,
Coach
I'm
Grace
gonna
is
be
awesome with
Yeah,
kids,
no, he's
man.
good.
Yeah.
He's
good.
awesome.
Hopefully Drake gets back.
Yeah.
He said he'll
home.
be in this weekend, something like
Yeah,
that.
because
Come roll.
the kids
Drake's
fucking
the goat.
love Drake. and Drake's such a good instructor with the kids and adults.
Yeah,
But
me too.
it's like
taught me a thing or two.
he's starting a new job where he's out all week, and you can tell he's gone. And like there's a missing spot at the gym. Like, man, where's
for
Drizzy
sure.
at?
And he comes in on the weekend and still just roast people.
Yeah.
He comes in from a 6-hour drive. Comes in from a 6-hour drive. Just
Said something about a drive earlier in the comments. I mean,
he's probably driving right now. Shit, you never know.
super cool guy. I had heard his name bounce around a few times, but I had rolled with him at the gym, and it was an awesome experience because he's a brown belt, and me just going in there and when you guys let us free roll a little bit and going in there and and I'm just like, yeah, he's like, do you want to roll? I'm not. You guys have probably noticed I don't free roll a lot. I want to learn as much as I can before I start free rolling all the time. I've been tweaked before, I'm folk style wrestling. I have. Here's the thing. Yeah,
like,
doesn't
fuck
give a
me
shit.
up, dog.
No,
That's what I literally told Scott. I said, fuck me up, homie.
Yeah, I've got a lot of really bad habits from folk style wrestling that I'm trying. Like, I'll catch myself doing if I'm free rolling, but. Rolling with Drake was really awesome because, I go in there and I'm just like, all right, I kind of, okay, this is what I'm trying to do.
He's
here.
a fucking gorilla.
And like, he'll let me through the guard and, he can see me trying, like, I get through it. And then, he's like, hey. And I'm like, why is he talking to me while I'm trying my hardest? I'm like grunting, squeezing really, really hard. I'm like, let me isolate this arm real quick. And he's just like, hey, and I'm just like, what do you want? And he's just like,
I'm trying to help you.
He's like, isolate the position first. I was like, it is isolated. And he's just like, and you're on your back now. And I'm like, oh man, it wasn't isolated.
This motherfucker can pick me up with one arm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I started training with Drake when I met, me and him met through World of Warcraft, his brother and everything like that. But Drake started training when he was 16. I was 20, 21.
Okay.
We started training at the same time, like together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, it's been 9 years now, me and Drake training together. That fucking kid's a monster.
Pretty sure he's a reincarnation of Harambe.
He is, definitely
monster,
super strong. Grabbing that guy's wrist, I'm like, let me just,
It's not all strength because he has technique.
Oh, 100% technique.
And it's like,
damn.
He didn't
just how
strain
strong
it
he
all.
is makes his technique better.
You'd like to blame it on strength, though. He's just a big motherfucker. No.
Man, the guy that really got me interested we were all wrestling in your garage, and it was right after one of the UFC
That sounds like
cards.
such a terrible stigma. All wrestling
tracks.
in the garage.
Yeah, but we come from wrestling.
Everybody
we
does the
come
same
from,
thing.
We come
Yeah.
from training in the garage.
Yeah,
So
man.
Whenever I moved to Florida, man, like, before that, there was like a huge, like, how long? It was a long time. We were rolling on 3/4-inch mats, puzzle mats in Drake's garage. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got half inches in my
You know what I'm
garage,
saying?
so
Yeah.
I can
And then I got
puzzle
some
match.
dollar
We ain't
mats,
bitches.
And they start going out. And then
But it was right after one of the UFC cards, and we all went to your
Oh,
garage.
it was Stipe and Daniel Cormier.
and Cody Atkinson
Yeah.
laid
Yeah,
on his
Cody,
back.
hey, man,
and
Cody's
he goes,
wish he
fucking
come
awesome,
in.
man.
I was like,
I wish he
I was
come
like,
in. He's
man,
got
I
free
really
membership
wanna
for
learn.
life. He's the one who started me and Jason in training.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Nobody
man.
knows that, man, but Cody
I was
Atkinson,
like,
100%.
I just want to learn, some basics, just learn how to defend myself, learn what I'm doing on the ground. And he goes, all right, choke me out. And he lays on his back, and he sticks his hand straight up. And he just fucking stopped everything I was doing. And it pissed me off. I was like, how is this even possible,
He's
man?
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Cody
what-
Atkinson is amazing.
I admire Jacob a lot for one of the reasons why he decided to jump, because I've known Jacob for a couple years now, and like when I first met him, he didn't do anything that was super in the personal space. And what I respect the most about him is that Jacob is obviously, he doesn't care about me talking about it. He's a concealed carry holder, so he carries his firearm around a lot. Yeah. Okay, and what he told me, he came to me one day and he said,
I'll show you the gun safe after the
and he
podcast.
said, oh, no guns here.
Proud
But
Joy.
one of the things is he came to me one day and he said, man, I don't know anything about physical altercations when it comes to actual hand-to-hand. And I said, look, man, there's so much to learn. Because he said to me, which I was really glad to hear him say, was he's like, I don't want it to get to the point where I have to use my firearm. He's like, if I can disable a situation where I can use my hands and stop a guy, he's like, that's way better than I have to kill a dude just because he threatened me.
And one thing, I've trained for hours on end on appendix carry, draw, and fire, right? And one thing that really opened my eyes on the effectiveness of hand-to-hand instead was me and Chase were in the garage, and I had an appendix carry holster on with an airsoft gun in it. Empty airsoft gun, just CO2, right? And I was like, all right, take me down before I'm able to draw. And he fucking double-legged me before I could even get my gun out. And I was like, holy shit, there's a whole nother world.
That was one of the biggest things that I was just like, look, this is where two different worlds can come together and help everybody. Yeah. The victim, the attacker, everybody. Because we don't need to be losing more life than what we're losing.
And so Bill Mayfield coming on the podcast.
Yeah, we had Bill Mayfield.
He broke it down. He said it is a gun fight. Mm-hmm. You have to fight to get to your weapon in most cases. Mm-hmm. So you have to have both worlds. It's not just one. You can't be proficient in just one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I wish law enforcement, because I'll never forget this. I'm not gonna call him out. I'm not gonna say his name. But I taught a technique in class one day. Mm-hmm. He's a law enforcement guy. Turned to another law enforcement guy. He said, they didn't show us this in the academy.
Yeah, they teach Krav Maga.
And it's like, I understand, but it's like everything's evolved since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's evolved since then. And everybody, I'll take one. Yes. And everybody watches UFC and they're privy to stuff. So why not get a leg up?
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember, I brought a guy into class, skinny dude, like 6'2". He's actually, I do that all the time. He's actually a Bowling Green police officer, and we were rolling in there. And he's got a background in wrestling, cheerleading, and also Krav Maga for the police department. So basically,
please.
Basically, my tactic, I was like, all right, this guy's way more physically fit than me, but I have more mass than him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to suffocate him until we're on the same level. So if I was on top, I would just press my chest into him so he couldn't breathe.
Right.
And then if he was on top, I would pull him into me so he couldn't breathe. And he told me after we got finished, he wanted to finish me with an armbar out of fucking nowhere. But when we got finished, we were both out of breath, panting, and he turned to me, he's like, dude, I almost tapped because I couldn't fucking breathe. And a guy that was in there for maybe 2 weeks at the time, just learning the basics of jiu-jitsu, went up against a police officer with a vast background and almost made him tap just because of just basics. You know?
I'm not talking shit about police, law enforcement.
No.
But it's the way they're trained and the ignorance of what they have. It's not their fault. But a lot of policemen, I found a trend that they don't want to come in because they have that gun.
Yeah.
I don't need this because I have a gun. One of my favorite guys that comes to the gym, his name's Joe Buchanan. Okay? He's a U.S. Marshal. Federal agent.
That's a beautiful human being.
That's awesome.
He is a fucking
that dude's
savage.
Even on the mats. Just on the mats in general.
Yeah. And he knows the value of this shit. And he's a federal agent. He can chase people from here to California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he knows the value of jiu-jitsu. So it's like he's basically the pinnacle of law enforcement, essentially. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he knows the value of jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. But like front line, like just regular police officers, they don't know the value of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Ashkan Karbasi, he's a state
awesome.
trooper.
That's another
amazing
human being.
Bowling Green. And he's a savage. And he uses it. He's never had to shoot anybody because he uses his jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Jeremy Hamilton, KSP, fucking savage. He knows the values of jiu-jitsu. A lot of these people don't because the only reason they know the value of jiu-jitsu because they train.
Yeah.
People who don't come in to train, they don't know. They don't know the value of it.
And I wonder how much you'd have to almost train with other officers in like full kit too.
Yeah.
There's got to be space difference, and there's also got to be weight difference.
Yes and no, but you also have you have an expert like Josh. He can sit there and break down. Okay, this will be good for you. This won't be good for you.
Yeah.
The best position for a law enforcement agent, knee on belly.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
for sure.
100%.
Everybody, you can see.
He can get in and out.
And Kimura seems like a super effective thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy.
Super effective.
For sure.
There's also a guy.
What are you gonna do?
Jiu-jitsu cop.
Nothing.
What are you gonna
Get your shoulder broke?
Yeah.
Do you want that? Then stop.
There's a guy in Atlanta. His Instagram name's Jiu-Jitsu Cop, and I'm not going. He doesn't want me to throw his name out, but he has a system. It's all based on the Kimura, and it's strictly to do with law enforcement. And he teaches law enforcement the advantages of the Kimura when you're arresting somebody.
We got Ruben Alvarez down in Florida. He's part of our affiliation, Trilio, down in Miami. He was a PD for 20 plus years. He retired. I mean, they use the Kimura a lot, just in law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, just for control.
Super effective.
Yeah, I was
have
gonna
to
say
hurt.
you can use.
You don't have to hurt somebody, but yeah, you can.
could.
You could if you needed
Yeah.
to. You know, but then you can transition into chokes if you needed
It's one
to.
of those that you
got
can take
control of
it
their
from
arm.
like a 1 to 10 if you needed.
Yeah,
You
100%.
can apply discomfort, you can apply pain, and you can apply a broken bone.
Because pain compliance is a real thing. You
Yeah.
have to respond to that. If you don't, you can't use your shoulder anymore.
Right.
So
You know
Nick
what I
Roby, he said he was training like 2 weeks, and we have a technique called what time is it grip. You grab the trap and you rotate your forearm up underneath the chin. It's pain
I learned
compliance.
that from Rob Kahn, by the
Yeah,
way. Rob
it's
Kahn.
pain compliance. You know, sometimes it can break your jaw if you do it right, if you do it forcibly enough. But he said he was arresting somebody. They had him on a stretcher. He was going nuts. Slapped that what time is it grip on him. He quit. He's like, sorry,
It's like, man,
Yeah,
fuck that.
I'll chill.
Yeah.
and that's all it took. He
Yeah.
went,
Because
talk
pain
about-
compliance is a real thing.
yes.
Man.
As far as the sports side of it goes, man, you talk about one technique that I've just locked onto has been the Kimura.
Yeah.
That
It's
thing-
one of my
oh, fuck
favorites.
you.
Fuck you.
I mean, think about it. I mean, just somebody who doesn't know jiu-jitsu and how to keep their arms in, and not as soon as somebody
They're
flares,
fucked.
they're
Majority of
fucked.
people are
Yeah.
fucked.
If you train yourself that muscle memory, anytime somebody arms comes out, I'm gonna lock
And a
that Kimura.
haymaker, dude.
Yeah.
90% of punches thrown, like for normal dudes, haymakers.
Yeah.
Wild, crazy.
And all you
punches.
gotta do is step in.
Yeah, man.
I think there's a lot to say about retraining the law enforcement and enforcing some of these techniques to kind of Blake Dickens said it just a second ago. Teaching them some of these things and kind of like pushing it onto these law enforcement officers so that they're more confident in themselves
Yeah,
to
100%,
handle a
man.
situation with their hands rather than with their
Man,
guns.
it's such a
Save
weird-
lives,
But
save
it's
people.
going to take a lot to
It's
set
such a
that
weird
ego
Yeah,
situation.
for
aside,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people
Yeah.
do not want to train because they don't want to start at the bottom. Just understand that you don't know a goddamn thing.
Come in with the attitude.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Come
straight
in
up,
with it.
come in with an
Yeah.
open mindset and learn fucking something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not saying that like as a sales pitch or whatever, but me getting into jiu-jitsu, I had to understand. Like, fuck, I didn't know a goddamn thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you do that, just learn something, man. I'm not shitting on Krav Maga or any other martial. Do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But don't take people's lives. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's
That's the biggest thing,
You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I sit back
De-escalation.
and I think about that situation a lot, and the more and more shit you see, like one of the biggest things that caught my attention was there was a shooting in Atlanta at a mall, and a gentleman who was a concealed carry holder, active duty military in the Army, he was a combat engineer, was trying to stop the shooting. The officer did not announce himself. He did not tell him to drop his weapon. Nothing. Shot him in the face and killed him.
Yeah.
And that is something that is completely unacceptable.
We're just in a weird time. as
Man,
far
it's
as
so
that
fucking
stuff's
weird.
going.
Chaotic
It's-
time.
99%
man. Like
of
you're
the time,
you're right.
Everybody's on
Yeah,
level
man.
20, and
No,
it's
like,
nobody wants
almost-
to. Yeah.
Almost all the time, I'm on the side of law enforcement in these situations.
Right.
If you comply, you have nothing to be worried about. Okay? But in situations like that, it's super weird, and it's like you have to question where we're going with it. Are we going to go the route of like the UK where they're non-lethal? You know, are they going to have rubber bullets? But that's not a good option because we have real bullets.
I have a theory.
You know?
You remember how Tony was talking about people getting agitated real easy, but if you train, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like Josh said, there's a quote that says you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay. Now, my theory is if all these law enforcement agents trained, okay, they would approach these situations differently because they're used to high stress situations, and they won't become so trigger happy. Yeah. They will learn I can do other shit to subdue this guy instead of shooting this dude.
Well,
right? They
in some
wouldn't
situations.
start freaking out.
Yeah,
they
in some
would
situations.
understand.
And I'm not training any kind of like firearms or anything
No.
like
That's
that. So,
also coming from-
experiencing that's what would
Yeah.
matter is experience as
That-
far
that's
as
coming
when it
from
comes to a hostile situation with potential
Us guys
firearms.
who
You know,
have absolutely no idea what it's like to
Right,
be
right.
immersed
I'm-
in that environment.
I don't
every
know what's
single
going through
day.
their mind, but
And I think something Joe Rogan touched on that really hit home is that I completely agree. I do not think the job of a police officer is a career path. I think it's something. It should be like a political standing, as far as like you serve a few years, you do
some
diligence
tours
in the
like you do in the
community,
military.
and
Come
you get
out.
out. I don't think it's
come out.
something you should be immersed in all the time.
Yeah.
It's,
Serve
it's
for 30 years
unbelievably
on the
stressful.
force.
But think about it. You got these Marines.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Always.
Like, we have one of our best friends is Chris Willard. He's a Marine. Okay. And they go through such hard training that you're getting shot at. Like Troy, his brother's a Marine. You get shot at, he's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't go through that training, you're getting shot at, you're going to shit yourself.
Freak the fuck
I
out.
would.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this.
It's a totally different thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't fucking have a clue. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you'd
be a
better
blackout
have some
all day long, but if
experience.
somebody
Yeah,
shooting
that
at
don't
you,
mean a
you're gonna
goddamn
fucking
thing.
freak out.
That's why, like, anybody comes in, what's your best self-defense? I'm like, first off, you should have
Run.
your concealed. You should have your concealed carry.
Yeah.
Right, and run. Worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Then if you got
safe,
into a
yeah.
physical altercation, do some jiu-jitsu.
Do everything you can to not have to kill someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Is the bottom line.
But if, I'm not ever going to say if a police officer shoots or kills somebody, they're wrong. Because I don't know the whole scope of the, situation.
And a lot of times, these body cams are making a huge difference, man. A lot of times, they're putting you in the perspective of the officer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I'm in that officer's shoes, I would do the same thing. It's like, if it's between me going home and that guy going home, and I know he's an armed person who wants to kill me, man, it's going to be hard for me to not see my kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but like I said, you see bad judgment calls, you see good judgment calls, and you see them both equally almost. But the ones that always stay with you are the bad judgment calls. Yeah. So it just leads you to wonder where it's going.
The only bad judgment calls we see are the ones that are on media. You know,
the
being
egregious
blasted
ones,
out.
super bad.
Well, and the internet blew that shit
Internet,
up.
yeah. But if you have good judgment calls, we never hear about it. So we don't
Absolutely.
Facebook
we don't
Live.
hear about them, shooting somebody that need to be shot.
Yeah.
We just hear about the shit that they have a lapse in judgment sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, it's a high stress situation.
But
and
don't
you can't.
Yeah.
I can't speak on any of that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation, and I've got my concealed carry permit.
Thankfully, we've never been in that situation.
Thankfully,
yes.
And usually I don't even carry. And for anybody that's trying to bug me later,
That's still not a great idea because I've seen this motherfucker fight. So.
Anybody want these hands?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I don't
Should
really
see the
care.
guys he hangs out with.
it's such, and my wife, I encourage my wife to go get hers, and she always carries, no matter.
My wife does too.
Whether she's going to the
Those
store.
can still carry purses.
PSA.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah,
I don't care, but my wife does. So what's up, bitch?
Fanny pack. Fanny pack.
Yeah, he always has his fanny pack on.
Hey man, look, if you're thinking you can get away with a petty robbery, and you look at me, that guy's got a fanny pack with some nice goods in it. I got some goods for you.
I got some hollow.
I got goods for you. You want this wallet? Here, take it.
If somebody was trying to rob me, I'm going to do everything. Okay, take my wallet. There's no money in there.
Yeah,
anyways.
Yeah, good luck getting money out of that shit.
Yeah.
I've never, of course, going into, I'm getting my concealed carry. I'm going to feel stronger with a gun on my hip, and really, I felt less secure.
You feel more vulnerable.
It's like, okay.
I have to pay attention to 10,000 more things than I didn't have to.
And you have to be conscious of bad judgment calls. You can't be
true.
that guy.
Right.
And now even with like this, that's something that's always been in the back of my head, but it's never came to fruition. This shooting that was happening in the mall where a good guy got shot because the cop failed to announce himself, man. Yeah. That is terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, Tamika said, "Great job, gentlemen. Excellent points being made all around."
Tell her
I love you, Tamika.
Tell her we hope she's getting feeling better. She's been sick all week.
Yeah, I checked up on her today. She said she was talking like a man. Well, she rose like a man too, so it's whatever. But do we have any information on that cop that shot him?
No, man, not a whole lot has been released.
Well, I would like to know how long he's been on the force.
Well, probably. And it doesn't really matter in terms of time on force. I think it would matter in terms of number of times you've been in that situation.
Well, what I'm saying is,
when you look
similar
when you look at the timeline, man, you don't want to be the cop that waited outside the school and allowed kids to keep getting shot because you were too scared to go in. But you also don't want to be the guy that goes in and shoots the wrong guy.
what I'm saying is, if he was on the force for like 2-3 weeks, you know what I'm saying, he may not have that experience.
No.
I don't know.
I almost think it would be the opposite. See, I've got several good friends that are police officers.
Yes.
And I can say that the newest one that has joined the force is by far more self-conscious, more
because of all the bullshit
law-abiding,
going on. Yes.
more like just overall more conscious of his decisions, of the ethics, of everything. So I would think it'd almost be the opposite. The more times you've been put into a stressful situation of it's me versus the enemy, you see normal citizens as now the enemy.
We also got those pieces of shit who love power.
For sure.
Because
there's for sure.
Just like with like social work.
Mm-hmm.
There's bad social workers who don't give a shit about what their job, and they don't make home visits. They don't give a fuck about their kids.
And that's got to be hard for you to control your temper in like bad situations like that.
Yes and no. Yes and no, because you know that.
Like you see a piece of shit that's just beating their kids, like.
Well,
that would be hard for anybody.
Luckily, I only deal with a lot of like meth.
Okay.
I don't deal a lot
that's
with child
lucky.
abuse. and it is. So like
love that shit.
Well,
how much a G, homie?
What I'm saying is like I don't deal with a lot of like child abuse, meaning like physical abuse.
Right.
I deal with a lot of environmental.
Yeah.
Which environmental to me, if you're addicted to drugs, you have a disease.
Yeah.
So I think I take a therapeutic standpoint into getting these people help.
Yeah.
If they're beating their kids, then I'm going to take another, avenue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I go home and I think about shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, I wish they would have done this.
Hey man, I try to not put myself in that kind of career path. Like I wanted to join the military, and I thought about it long and hard. My mom didn't want me to, and that was ultimately the deciding factor.
Yeah.
All my friends joined, man. Almost every single one, besides Chase, almost every single one of my friends is in the military or has been in the military.
It takes a different kind of person because you want to help people.
Yeah, but I thought about it, man. I was like, all right, imagine yourself overseas, and you have to shoot somebody. All right, now you have to come home and you have to live with that. Can you do that?
Well,
and I thought long and hard about it, man. And I was like, I can't do it.
Think about this.
So I'm not going to.
So when people see us train or spar, like I don't see how you get a hit in the face and not get pissed off. This may be a bullshit comparison, but it's due to training. Okay.
Yeah.
They brainwash you. They break you down mentally to build you back up to be a fucking savage, right? So you talk to any Marine or anybody, Army, any Navy, whatever, they can tell you about the training and then how their mentality has changed.
Yeah.
Talk to Chris Willard. Talk to Troy Hayden.
Yeah. Well, even like with their training, like I know at the end of the day, as it's
and everybody who's getting upset, you have to understand that we are 5 guys in a room that have been drinking.
I think if people get mad.
Well, like
if they're getting mad, tell them to come down to the gym.
If you're getting mad, it's time to just tune out because we're gonna say whatever the fuck we want to say anyway. So get that across your plate right now.
Let me say this.
Based on that.
you got these guys that are out deployed, especially like talking to my brother. At the end of the day, regardless of the training, at the end of the day, he's coming back home to see his family.
Yeah.
Regardless, that's it. And if you have to kill somebody, you gotta kill somebody.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You're going back
It's you
home.
versus them.
Especially if it's a time of war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we could all imagine those situations and say, hey, I'm going home. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Yep.
And I'll live with that
That's
consequence.
what's crazy
That's it.
About right now as far as the states
But
go.
unfortunately, that's not it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of. There's nothing that is mentally acceptable about killing another person.
No.
And as long as it's so weird too, because as long as we've been humans, we've been killing each other. But
I think it's all about how you cope with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that maybe going through that training gives you ability to cope
the
with
training
it.
is more physical than it is mentally.
Yeah. There's no.
That's
I
one of the
honestly don't think
biggest-
there is any kind
Yeah.
of mental preparation.
There's not.
into
killing
killing
somebody,
somebody because
Anytime you can put an 18-year-old with a fucking rifle and tell him to go kill somebody is almost insane.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know a couple of people that, military-wise, they've done that.
Yeah.
They'll never talk about it.
Because it's repressed, man.
It's
Yeah.
something they just don't address. I mean,
Yeah.
my wife's dad served in Korea. He's probably put somebody down.
It's not something you're going to ask about
he-
either.
You don't. Talk about. And I mean, we know guys.
like, what do you do?
at our gym
Yeah, I guess
at
fucking
Gracie
say that.
Owensboro that served in the military. They've probably had. You don't talk about it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's just that's a tough position.
It's just a
fucking
shitty
rough.
world we
It's
live in.
yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
fucking
Like,
rough.
at the
You
end of
wish
the
we didn't
day.
have to deal with it. I wish
Like-
we lived in a world where we didn't have to carry, even though shooting a firearm is a lot of fun. You go out to the range and shoot.
Dude, it's the most fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. But if we
Yeah.
didn't, if
Triggered.
we could,
Triggered.
Hey.
I'll show you triggered.
no, I'm full support of Second Amendment. I love firearms, but I mean, obviously we've got people out there that just step over that line and take advantage of shit.
Yeah.
And it's sad when things have to resort to.
Trent
Something
Genosi
like
used to be a sniper. And he could tell you about the training you have to go through to be a fucking sniper.
It's insane
To
shit.
be able to sit there for
and
hours.
shit on yourself
To shit on
without moving.
I do that
Hours?
anyway.
For hours. He could sit there and tell you he
I didn't
sit
have to
there
go
for
to the military to
hours
shit on myself.
upon him.
I pretty much did that since I was born, so hate to brag.
No,
but
Trent's probably one of the hardest guys I know. But I mean,
That's another beautiful
He's another human
Yes.
being. Another human
Yes.
being. He's nice. He's very, very nice guy, but somebody I would never want to get on the wrong side.
You should probably have him in here to talk about his training and his experience with
We'd
sniping.
love to have a guy like that
Holy
in here.
fuck.
Trent's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Trent is
We love
so
having
dope.
veterans in here. That,
Fuck yeah.
Dude, Bill Mayfield's still one of the coolest guys we've had.
yeah, I
really
mean,
do. He
you
does,
know,
he owns a gym here too.
Hidden Samurai.
He does, Hidden Samurai does Pakiti Tersha, right?
Pakiti Tersha, he does
What's-
several
What's
classes.
the Kitty Tarsha?
It's like a combination of Krav Maga and a little bit of, I guess,
Weapons fighting.
it's
knife
several
stick.
I
different
know he
things.
was
It's
big
got a
into
little
knives and stuff.
yeah, it's big in
Big into
very big in
everything. Yeah, he was into everything.
Yes.
I did my
He did Kali and
my
everything.
CCW class with him.
Yeah.
And he
Very
He
smart,
took
very
a couple of us guys that were more advanced in firearms. He held us over after class, and he gave us basically an intro to bodyguard class. So if I was walking with my wife through the mall and I needed to pull her behind me and then draw, find target, and it was super cool, man. He knows a lot of
That's
shit
what's
about
up.
weapons training.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome having him in here because it ties in a lot of things that we were saying. It's just like he's got a martial arts background. He did some professional fights and jiu-jitsu and all that good stuff. And then he's also a firearms instructor. So, he knows the ins and outs about firearms. So he knows the importance of all that things and being able to see both sides of it,
Yeah.
really opened my eyes to it as well. And I'm sure, that podcast opened your eyes up too. Is like,
A lot.
man, that dude could fuck me up just because he's close to
Taking
me.
his class opened my eyes. man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Watching him dump them at a 45 has a lot of recoil. Therefore, it's inherently harder to fire consecutive rounds fast, right? Especially compared to a 9. So watching him dump his mag faster than I could dump my Glock 19, which is a 9, was just like an awakening for me. I was like, holy shit.
It's like another world of there's badasses
Yeah.
in this respect where it's just like I can't fuck with that kind of firearms
And not just
ability.
quickly, but
He's a black
super
belt
accurate.
in that sort of shit. So yeah, it was awesome to have him on and talk about that sort of things too. And
I
I'm
wish
glad
he
that
still
all the-
trained.
Yeah.
I wish he'd come to the gym.
It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
he's an older fellow, so
It'd be cool.
he's
He's a little cantankerous. He's very, very set in his ways.
Yeah.
Which is nice in some ways, but it's not nice in other ways. I think he actually unfriended me. But it was just
You
because,
asshole.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I am. And I'm fine
What did
with
you
that.
do to him?
I didn't do anything. I think it's a difference of political view more
Yeah.
than anything.
I get it.
Well,
Good
fuck
thing
you.
the internet allows you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, basically, I just say fuck you.
But yeah.
Love the guy to death.
Do you
Either
like
way,
dudes?
That's
Do I like
Are
it?
you gay? I don't talk.
Do I suck dick?
Yeah.
I've only
Wait,
ever
let that
touched one
freeze.
dick and I liked it, so
Cool.
it's mine.
I'm gonna unfriend you because fuck you.
Yeah, all right. You know what? I'm gonna sleep.
Hey,
cool.
Drake is mad at you, Scott. He said he's mad because you don't have a double stack on deck.
Look, I already ate
shit.
it. That's whatever. You can't keep them in front of me.
Oh, good shit.
Man, one of the funniest fucking things to me is I was worried when me and Juice were doing knee on belly, and then we transitioned to the other side. I was like, man, I'm afraid I'm gonna fucking hurt him. Like I don't want to put all my
No,
weight on it.
Juice is savage.
You
He can't hurt him.
Josh came over. He's like, no, this is what you're doing, and he was like, all right, here's your ribs, and then here's your what was it?
Solar plex.
Solar plex, and he was like, see how this is more uncomfortable? I was like, no, they're both pretty fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey,
But at least you're not gonna break these.
Feeling the pressure difference between like a normal sparring partner and you who knows what the fuck you're doing is like
that
a
Juice,
different
you don't
world.
know what the fuck you're doing, Juice.
Juice absolutely knows what he's doing. Juice, I feel like Juice is like such. I don't know how long he's been in there, but I feel like he's worlds above.
About a year.
Yeah.
I feel like he's worlds above.
His movement is incredible for
He's
him.
like, he
Well,
moves
like
so
take
fast.
that back, like his natural movement. Like he's been doing that just when he first started training.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like he's just been like completely. He does not stop moving. Which at the end of the day, movement's life. You gotta fucking keep moving. Even in you can't just sit there and stop. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like we always talk about not laying flat and everything like that. But Juice is if he continues to train, man, the sky's the limit for that dude. For sure.
Joseph Borman said, Tony, you got to put a chew in.
Not a chew, a snus.
The classier too.
It's a gentleman's pouch, and they pair
Rob
it with,
Woodford, and he's gonna put in a
and it
snus.
pairs. Yeah, a nice snus pairs well with an even finer whiskey. I apologize. It's one of my crutches. I try to get off of it.
Yeah, I know a good friend of mine. He smoked and he was tired of smoking, so he started dipping to get off smoking,
Yeah,
and
I
now
did
he
the
just
same
does them both.
Does he do both at the same time?
Really fucked himself on
Does
that
he do
one,
the same
didn't
time?
He's not a
That'd be
quitter.
dope.
He's not a quitter.
he? Yeah.
That's a savage.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Said, fuck it, I'm doing both.
Oh hell. I don't recommend anybody start.
Yeah, man. One of my good friends, Jesse Saw, he's been on this podcast many times. He started smoking as an adult. I think he did it to make himself seem like an adult because he was like a young. He was homeschooled. He didn't really know where his clique was. So he was like, I'm just gonna go out here with these dudes that smoke and like kind of fit in with that crowd. But now he actually smokes, and it sucks because he's the only one.
Man,
that smokes.
I can't. Now that I haven't smoked in several years, but now I can be like 4 cars behind somebody
And
I
smell
can
it.
smell it, and it
Yeah,
just
man.
disgusts me.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world.
It's awful.
Yeah, but I can't really not because I throw a pouch in. And,
I used to smoke reds, man. Marlboro
You're a
Reds.
champ. You're
But
a
I
champ.
started smoking because I was too poor to get lunch. You know what I mean? Like I was I'm gonna smoke
The
for
ultimate
lunch.
appetite, appetite suppressant. Yeah,
Yeah, like,
I'm
shit,
losing
let me
all this
suppress my
weight,
appetite
man.
real quick.
I like how people just smoke right outside the door of like a restaurant.
Well, that shit's illegal now.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
no,
10
I'm talking
foot.
about right
20
outside.
foot. Yeah.
it 20?
20 foot
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from any entrance.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll call people out on that because my daughter
Noted.
has to walk through that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call
And
somebody
I mean,
out.
Like, you're an asthmatic, I'm an asthmatic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck. I'll smoke.
I'm
when
gonna
I
get a
drink,
tape
but-
measure. I'm gonna have a tape measure wherever I go.
Yeah.
Just slide it out.
This is 19 and a half.
I always thought asthma was one of those super weird things where your body tries to kill itself.
Basically.
There's, like, if you look at, and even, like, human suicide is super weird because you look at any other animal on this planet, it's like they struggle so much just to survive. And then we've got it all, man. We've got
We're
shelter,
such
we've got
pussies.
food on demand, we've got water on demand. And it's like, all right, my lungs want me to die, so I guess that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you do. You're helpless.
Nothing.
Man.
It's.
I can't imagine what they did before, like albuterol inhalers came around.
Fuck.
Dude,
Died.
You sit there and wheeze all day.
Threw them off a cliff when they were babies.
there's nothing more. Like I had an asthma attack when I worked at the bank, man. It got
Oh,
so
yeah,
dusty.
you
Dust is my
left, yeah.
trigger,
Yep.
and I can exercise all day long, not a problem. But if I get around a heavily dusty environment,
Farm.
my lungs will start to close.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting at my desk, and I was like, I don't know if you get the same thing, but I get an itch between my shoulder blades. And that's like my warning, like, you're about to get fucked, homie. And so I was feeling it. I was like, please no. Please no. And sure enough, man, like, 30 minutes goes by, and I'm at, like, half lung capacity. And so I'm, like, messaging my wife on the same time because she works at Yes Bank too. I'm like, hey, it's like shit's getting real over
She
here.
got your emergency
Like,
inhaler
yeah,
on
I
her.
think I don't have my inhaler on me. At this time, I didn't have an inhaler. because my asthma hadn't acted up in years.
Yeah.
So I had my my breathing machine here, but I didn't have any inhalers. And so by the time we decided she needed to come get me because she worked across town, by the time she got there, I was suffocating. And I was damn near out by the time we got home.
So yours is a little more severe than mine.
Yeah.
Mine is allergy induced and exercise induced, and I also have a deviated septum.
Oh.
So I'm fucked from right here and right here.
Yeah.
So I can't breathe through my nose.
That
I
tells
can
you
only.
gingers aren't genetically just
So sometimes,
Yeah.
like I'll be rolling.
disadvantaged. This guy's all kinds of fucked
You
up.
got that right. I sweat, can't fucking breathe. Have panic attacks and shit. But like I'll be rolling and I'll get dizzy.
Really?
Because I can't get enough oxygen. I have to
tap.
quit for a little bit. I feel like a fucking bitch when I do it. But I'm like, am I going to pass out? Or do I need to take a 30-second break?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like that too, but just because I'm fat.
Well, I'm fat too, so.
Hey, Jose Morales asks, Josh, how's your Jose Morales? Yeah, he said, how's your knee doing, and when do you think it'll be back to 100%?
In 6 months, maybe. Into a year. Okay.
He said, hope your family is doing well as well.
You
Yeah.
plan on doing any more like high level competition?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, 100%.
You were getting ready for.
I was trying to get ready for ADCC,
Yeah.
man. I was
Yeah.
resting a lot. I was trying to get ready for that tournament. Then blew my
Wasn't
knee
getting
out.
scary in the gym yet. I
Yeah.
think when you start getting ready, people tend not to show up.
Yeah.
Because they know the grind is real.
Yeah, because it gets a little crazy.
So you start trying a little harder.
It's like,
It's a little
Josh is
crazy,
getting
though.
ready for this competition. I think I'm staying
But
home.
why
this
is
month.
Josh so angry?
I remember whenever, I got laid off a Century, so I was on unemployment for a long time, and I went back to college. And we were doing 2-a-days. Worst time of my life.
Worst time of my life.
I got a lot better, but I was getting fucked up every single second.
We
of every
were
single day.
training. We were definitely training. But, yeah, I'd say Jose, 6 to 12 months. I don't know.
Who's Jose?
Jose, he trains at the gym down in Fish Rock. If you don't know, we have our sister school is down in Florida.
Okay.
That's the gym that we opened up after about 6 months.
So,
he's
did you, is Gracie Owensboro and Black Belt CBD partners? Or how
yeah,
does that
so
work?
we just partnered up with them. They reached out to me, and Frank Mir owns the company, and Robert Drysdale. So we're partnered up. And we're sponsored by Black Belt CBD, which is just a supplement company that is big advocates of anti-inflammatory purposes, perfect for what we do.
Zero THC
And
for
recover-
anybody
yeah,
wondering.
yes, 0% THC. This is straight from California, and but yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
doing. But they also have a tournament though. They said just put on a pretty big tournament. So like I said earlier today was jiu-jitsu, like the submission only scene. They're starting to become like it's like growing. So like this tournament, like the first tournament they had, I mean I think it was 2 matches, right? 2 matches, and like you had the potential of winning $30,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was four men bracket. They did a women's bracket too.
Yeah.
And it was the first time.
First time that women have been paid the same amount as men.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty, because Robert Drysdale has daughters, and then
Well, and just because
Frank
of
Mir
Fry.
does. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Because they're human beings too.
Listen,
Because
if you
in
wanna
UFC,
fuck me up, you can have the $30,000. You feel me?
but in the UFC, women are really like the most exciting fighters right now.
Absolutely.
And you see a woman's fight
women,
come on, you're like,
crazy.
kinda
They
trying
open
to
see
see
them.
them.
Yeah.
They go hard.
They're going for it. Some of those
you
guys
watch-
are like, let me just take her
Chris
down,
Cyborg.
bro.
But you watch women in jiu-jitsu, man, fucking amazing. Man.
Yeah,
Like, that's some of the most beautiful
That's awesome.
and competitive jiu-jitsu. Like you're talking about, like going balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Via Mesquite is my favorite.
I'm so glad to see that like women's like martial arts.
That's
are,
why I
like,
wanna grow the
super
jiu-jitsu program.
Yeah, like women's martial arts are like getting thrust to the forefront, because like it sucks because you see like a lot of like women's sports that are like pushed to the background because they're not as entertaining as some of the men's sports, but like Ronda Rousey
I
just
love
blew
Zia
that
for
shit
fun,
all
man.
the way up, and now that you're seeing like jiu-jitsu leak into the mainstream and all that stuff, it's been awesome.
Some of the
to see.
jiu-jitsu women, like right now, bro, like
And
fucking
kickboxing.
crazy. Yeah,
Jiu-jitsu
I love
and
crazy,
kickboxing, all that
That's,
stuff.
that's a good
So
thing
much
about
more
Owensboro,
technical.
too.
Yes.
Than men.
Them and
It's
kids.
crazy.
Because they don't have strength.
Yes.
Or they don't have as much strength.
Yeah.
So they have to rely a
He's
lot
like,
more
hold
on
on, don't fuck
technique.
me
Yeah,
up,
but they go balls
Yeah.
to the wall, man. Like,
Dude,
they give
yeah.
it
They don't
all.
rely on muscle.
That's why I want to go
100%.
to the women's program in Owensboro, because Owensboro's a sports town, man. Like, we got a bunch of women that have been involved in every sport. And then, you know, we got jiu-jitsu that's kind of like underground. Like, we get them involved, like, say, I mean, I grew up with, like, Janae Howard and stuff like that, and basketball and stuff like that. Like, if they got involved in jiu-jitsu, because I know they're past college and their careers and not doing anything, but like I said earlier, like that competitive spirit, that shit never dies.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't die. Whether you want to admit it or not, that shit doesn't die. And jiu-jitsu's forever. Like, this it's year-round. We compete all year, whether it be gi or no gi, and it's always going to be there. That shit's never going to go away. Like, if they were to get into jiu-jitsu, man, I think Owensboro had, like, 100% one of the best teams in the world. Like,
I
straight
think
up.
If
100%.
anything, if anybody listening to this podcast comes away with anything from this, it's that it's a welcoming environment, it's a learning environment, and that you should at least come try it out. It's a week free, so you can decide within that week if it's for you or not, and you should absolutely come try it out. Gracie Owensboro is on Triplet Street for the time being, moving to a bigger facility soon. I mean, there's nothing like it.
And it's 7 days a week.
Yeah.
That a lot of schools you go to, you may get 4 or 5 classes a week, and that's in the evening. If this is, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you have an AM class at 10:30 to 11:30, and then again, you know, Monday through Friday, there's classes, you know, for adults, not just. I mean, kids start at what 5:30 for the young ones, and the teens come in at 6:30, and then and you know, open mats on the weekends, and it's even less stressful environment. You just come in and chill. If you want to row, you can row. You work technique.
And then we go to Wasabi.
And it was funny you were talking because the Florida guys came up a couple of weeks ago, and all of them were awesome.
That
awesome
was
people.
cool as fuck. So, like, we're growing this, we might open up, you know, there's a whole bunch of different locations that we might open up. But we're trying to build this big old academy and, like, affiliation and stuff like that, man.
I think if you did the women's program, it would be really awesome. I want my wife to do it so fucking bad. But
Hashtag me too.
The only thing holding her back
training with
she's
guys, I'm
terrified.
sure.
Yeah, she's terrified that the guys are going to fuck her up.
Rightfully so. You know, it'd definitely be more comfortable for women to train with women. Yeah. But, you know, but like at the end of the day, my goal is to always break through that threshold that women can believe that they can fuck up a dude regardless, because they can.
Yeah, at least beginning with women, getting them in each other's personal space is a big deal.
No, for sure.
Women build that confidence.
Just having somebody in your guard is awkward.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Especially if you're having. You have to get in a man's guard as a woman. That's like an intimate space. You know what I mean?
And that's like I've done several. Like we did self-defense seminar. What was it at? McLean County, right? And I talked to him. I was like, you know, like we're like women being in between their legs. Like I get in between their legs. Like that's to them, that's a very like unfamiliar situation. That's kind of like that's discouraging.
To us, it's just second nature. They're like, all right, let's fucking do it.
But in all honesty, with jiu-jitsu, that's the most dangerous position that they could be in. Like to fuck up a dude, you could choke him, you could break their arm, you could do a lot of different things to him. You know, so them understanding that, look, I can be effective here. I can be like I should be confident here.
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, in the realm of self-defense and strategically speaking, you got this guy thinking that he's getting what he wants, and then now you're using this against him, and now you're alive as opposed to the alternative. You know what I mean? That's my thing is I want women to understand.
Bailey Cameron said my first few days. She said
Bailey's fucking awesome.
Yeah, she said.
Love you, by the way.
She's another.
Love you, Bailey.
Well,
she's
been hurt and she's been in school and stuff like that.
Yeah, she said my first few days of jiu-jitsu were like, oh, this is a little awkward. But by the end of the week, I was in love. She's ready for her schedule to calm down so she can start coming to class more. So
love you, Bailey.
Bailey's fucking awesome.
That was nice easing into it with Chase, somebody that I'm super comfortable with, that it wasn't as big of a deal as being like in his guard or him being in my guard. And now it's just fucking hilarious because I try to make him uncomfortable. Like when I was passing his guard today, when I would get down and I push his legs forward, I go, oh.
That was you guys making that noise? All right.
I was wondering.
not me. I'm trying to learn.
He would push my legs up. I go, oh, pass my guard, daddy.
He's trying to get some like thing.
But like, on the opposite end of the spectrum, like with you know what I'm saying? Like me, I was you know fairly in shape and everything like that, and I was like, man, I need to get in better shape to come in. you know.
Yeah.
And it was more of an ego thing. So I didn't want to get fucked up was the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
I'm
you
the
just gotta
opposite.
fucking come in.
I just want to get fucked
Yeah,
up.
that was
You just gotta show the
hey,
fuck
that
up.
was the biggest thing for me because
Just come in, man.
I remember my first day in the wrestling room just getting thrown, just getting taken down, and just getting slammed and slammed and slammed and slammed for months until finally I was just like, oh, I can sprawl now. You know, it's just like, oh, you know, it took a long time, and it's just like, so I'm used to that. You know, I can understand. It's just like there's a lot of things that I don't know that I'm.
It's like surviving under pressure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it takes
You know?
a special person to learn like that. That not everybody can thrive through adversity like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You know, I've been lucky in a lot of situations I've been placed in, and one of the biggest things for me is that, you know, all those things have kind of taught me, you know, hey, you know, you're going to lose. You know, I'm a smaller guy, so I haven't sought out physical confrontations. As a guy who's 6'5", naturally just 6'5", he may seek out physical confrontation because, Scott, you may understand with me because I don't know, you know, how your childhood was like, but if, you know, if me and you went up to a guy who's 6'5", you know, and if I didn't know any kind of, like, martial arts or anything like that, that'd be a very dangerous situation for me or you
Fuck,
because...
it's dangerous right now. What you
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I'm saying. Look,
So
You
you
got
gotta
Matt Lowry,
step up.
6'5".
so
Yeah,
I
you
have
Marshall Sanders, 6'5".
That's what I'm saying. I've
You got Marshall's people. They're 6'5".
Whole squad is 6'5", dude.
and the thing is, it's just like my whole family comes from Iowa. Just every single one of them grew up wrestling in Iowa. So
Dan Gable.
savages, man. They grab you by your shoulder and they could pin you to the ground, no problem at all. So it's just like for me, you know, it took a lot for me to get over that and to come into the gym and like you guys said, it's just like you guys want people to get over that, and I'm glad that you guys came on here and enforce that message that it's not, you know, that environment is completely dissolved. The moment I walked into that gym, I realized it's like, whoa, this is a group of people that are working towards the same goal to learn something that will be beneficial to them in multiple categories. And I'm
this
so
podcast is a
glad.
Super testament. I mean, black belt, brown belt, purple belt, right?
Yes, sir.
And white belts. Like, literally started a month ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to treat everybody like, okay, Duval, he told me a story, and he still, I don't remember this. This is how, like first impressions last. I don't remember this. He remembers this. His first day, he started a nice guy. He said, I was the only one to come up and say something to him. Came up, gave him a fist bump, said how he's doing. He's like, man, I'm doing good. He's like, that made me feel at home.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So everybody comes to that door that's brand new. I treat them like I treat them.
You did that with me, man.
Because
that's what made me stick around.
Like if I sit there and talk shit to you, that's because I want you to be comfortable with talking shit to me and how everybody else, you know, interacts.
I mean, shit, look, we're over here doing a podcast.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
That's where
man.
it started at.
Like,
you know?
when I first started, you were still on crutches. You couldn't do anything on the mats.
He was still
and
doing stuff,
he was
though.
the one teaching.
Crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, so
Shit, when I first met Cholo, man, it was like just some random occurrence, you know what I mean?
I actually met Cholo back at Mayfield. Remember when he had his place over there by Huck's on Parish?
Yes.
Where it's a Mexican store
Yep.
now.
Yep.
But yeah, over at Bruce's as well. I think I knew Cholo before I knew any of you guys.
You ran Cheetos?
Yeah.
Love that place.
It's not a restaurant. It's just actually like a Mexican store over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Anyways, Actually, I think. Did you ever come into the place where he was over at the police station?
I did.
Yeah,
that's where I met you.
Scott. Yeah. Man, it's crazy how small this world actually is. Like when you get into the MMA and Jiu Jitsu world, it's as far as Owensboro, it's not huge. So if you know that guy, you probably know 10 other guys behind him. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
So-
funny 'cause
savages.
how much weight his name holds, and it's like Nate, like Juice and Nally and Jenkins went out to Arizona to see Granger, and they went to this gym, and this gym was kind of, they were like, oh, you know, they're kind of being aggressive, whatever. And as soon as they said, oh, we train under Josh Hayden, their whole attitude
Fitbit
changed.
said time to get ready for bed.
Hey, I I don't want to cut anybody
No,
off or
you
anything
good.
like that. We're rolling up on 3 hours here, so I just
Holy
wanted to say,
Time goes,
you know, if
man.
there's anything that you guys wanted to add into the podcast before you forgot or anything like that, because I know we've been talking for a long time, obviously. So,
3
you know,
hours.
if anything you wanted to plug in or anything that you meant to say when you originally got in here but you forgot, go ahead and throw it in there.
Obviously, you got to do it again.
Of course.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
For sure.
I thought, you know, whenever it was so awesome whenever we went to the gym and, you know, we had like talked about the podcast a little bit, and then you're like, hey man, come in there, I'll do that. And I was like so happy about that because more people need to learn about the sport. More people need to know about the camaraderie. More people need to learn about the life skills. More people need to know that it's not the meathead sport that a lot of people associate it with like,
Definitely.
you know, some of the things with wrestling. I love wrestling to death, obviously coming from that background, but, you know, it can be very daunting to people. And it was even daunting to me because I didn't know what to expect, but obviously I was proven wrong, and I'm glad that I was. I'm glad that I came in there, and I'm glad that Jacob said, hey, let's go in there, and I was just like,
I love that you go in there with a completely fresh attitude on it. You don't go in there like, no, this is what I know, I'm doing it this way.
Yeah.
You go in there and you're like, I'm going to learn this way, and I'm going to show you how to do this because you're completely new to it. And I'll learn a lot from you just through drilling.
Yeah.
I love training with wrestlers because I suck at wrestling. So like I know that I can learn from somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like roll with a white belt. Okay, Andre Galvao, best in the world. Okay, 100% right now. But he was training for the Worlds. He had a white belt come in that hit a submission on him. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. So he trained with his white belt specifically for the Worlds because he was doing something he couldn't really grasp.
Really?
You know, so that if a guy at the pinnacle of the fucking sport can learn from a white belt, anybody can learn from a white belt.
Right.
It's
I
like
mean,
when
you always got to be a student, man. Always.
Yeah,
like
no
when
matter
he
what
came
it
in,
is.
A
you
couple
fucking
guys
do.
said that earlier in the comments.
Always.
They said top tier something, learning always, something like that. But just to wrap up some of the comments, since people are starting to bug out, they're saying Bailey wanted to say you guys are really awesome at being welcoming. Scotty, at the Hip Hop Fest, you were so cool and made me feel very comfortable being with a lot of people, and appreciate that. Candace said, love seeing very passionate people discussing intelligent things. I don't know about that, but Nathan Tanner said, y'all have definitely changed my life. I love you guys a lot.
Love you, Nate.
And another person said, intelligent about everything about what you guys love. So,
Is Reese commenting anymore on there?
no, I think it went to bed. It's way past
Yeah,
his bedtime.
that
It's past his curve.
he's got to wake up and go.
We got a
score the ball.
bedtime. What do you mean?
If he acts up, none's going to spank him.
Oh, shit. Smack his hand with the ruler.
Tyler Hayden said, thank you so much for making me part of the family. So, you know, he feels the love too.
Only because he's been in for about a month now.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
When
and
I was
he
asking
definitely
around
feels it.
about Gracie Owensboro, I literally heard nothing bad. Like,
Nothing.
everybody was pressuring us to go. Not pressuring, but like
Word.
giving us good recommendations
man.
to go.
Absolutely.
So,
Cody had been telling
yeah,
me
sure.
for years since you guys opened. He's
Yeah,
like,
Cody.
dude, just go. Yeah, you know, it's like I've known Cody since I was probably about 16 or something like that. Once I got into high school, I met Cody. You know, he was really fat at the time, and he played a lot of Fallout.
matter what that
Little
dude's a savage.
Yeah. I figured that out real quick
fucking
because we used to go and hang out with him, and he's just like, ooh, roll a little bit, and you know, that was when I was just
sick,
like,
dude.
Let me tell you how good Cody is. Okay, so I was training MMA, and I was like, "Hey, Cody,
He
you
got a
wanna-
hell of a left hand.
you want to spar?"
Just saying.
He's like, "Yeah, let's spar." He fucked me up. I was like, "All right, I'm never gonna spar with you ever again." Fuck you, Cody.
Fuck you.
Like, never mind.
By the way, Bailey jumped in and said, yes, let's Rose Reese some more. And Drake said, yes, he's got a bedtime. Don't worry. But yeah, much love to Cody, too. He's been on the podcast before. I love that guy.
Me too.
Him and your brother actually got me into the sport. You know,
Got me into it. Too.
Yeah, your brother kicked me in the leg one time, and I was like, first of all, you can't kick dudes in the leg and make them hurt that bad. But I'm not gonna cry because I'm at my own house.
This
see the women
motherfucker moved
checking
up
the
to
savings.
Alaska, right? So he got to the army, went to Alaska. He was training at this gym. He was sparring MMA, trying to get these other people ready for fights. They told him to quit kicking people.
Oh.
Like, how badass?
Hey, Reese said, hey, Reese just jumped back in and said, shut up.
Fuck you, Reese. Fuck you.
Tell him to go back to sleep.
But yeah,
If he doesn't, we'll put him to sleep.
all
tomorrow
things
night.
being said,
Oh shit!
me personally, I'm glad that things have developed the way that they have. For me, it's a little weird because things have come kind of full circle because Cody and your brother obviously kind of got me interested, turned my eye onto mixed martial arts. And now you're kind of teaching me, some of the actual basics and the real things, not just like, them beating me up and then I'm like, all right, well, let me go into YouTube or, like ask some people some shit or go into the backyard and figure shit out. But,
That's how we learn.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we learn from.
You gotta start somewhere, man.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
And I'm glad that things have panned out the way that they have. And I'm glad that you guys have provided an awesome environment for this community, this town, everybody that's involved in it, because it's changing lives, not just on the small scale, but you like you said, you're partnering with many different people to get this kind of sport, this kind of message, this kind of like discipline out to as many people as possible, and that's honestly as admirable as I can see in my own life. So I appreciate
It's
that.
all thanks to Josh, because if
Shit.
I never heard about him.
You guys are part of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, like these guys coming in, you guys been in. He's been in. Travis down in Florida's been in. Like it's a constant effort for us all.
Honestly, if I wouldn't have found out about his gym, I wouldn't have been sitting in this room right now. I mean, I wouldn't have got my purple belt. Any of that. Just
If it weren't for somebody else, you would have got your purple belt.
no.
I was kidding.
The guy down in there, he really his mindset to it is top notch, and everybody in the gym that's got where they're at, it's because of him. So man, he's world class. Man.
I tell people about a couple of months ago, I asked everybody while they trained, and they say, to get in shape, whatever. And I said, I'm going to ask you that again about 2, 3, 4 years, and your reason will be completely different.
Yeah.
Because
God, I'm gonna tap your ass out one of these days.
well, then you tap me out. Then
I
you're
come in and I look at him in the face every day. That's why I train.
Have you ever tried to heel hook a midget?
you can't.
You can't do it. I'll figure it out one of these days.
I mean, he's figured it out. He figured it out from day one. But it's like I've progressed from just trying to get in shape to helping people.
Yeah.
My main MO when I step on the mat is to help people.
You're awesome at it, man.
I
All
try to
three of you
appreciate
guys
that.
are.
I appreciate that because at the end of the day, if I could look at myself in the mirror and be like, I feel good what I did that day.
It's a really short mirror.
Short,
like a half mirror.
and it's
The
like
bathroom vanity mirror. It's on the ground.
look, it's a nut mirror.
Leaning against the wall.
Sometimes if like Megan's using that mirror, I got to get up on a step stool to see over my seat.
Sophia puts you on her shoulders.
Yeah. Hey, teamwork make the dream work.
Hey,
You know
that's what
what I'm
it's about,
saying?
baby.
If that gives anybody listening an idea of the environment right there.
All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna fucking wrap it up. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thanks for all the questions, all the interactions, all the shares earlier today to get the word out about this podcast. Thank you guys for coming in and talking with us. We appreciate it. Got to do it again for sure. But hell yeah, man. Awesome podcast. Let's wrap it up, Chase.
Congrats, Candace Rice, on the ham, too. Y'all have a great night. I appreciate everybody
tuning in. Share some of that ham, man.
Hey, by the way, anything you guys want to plug before we cut the stream?
Cholo, man.
Cholo.
Plug
Cholo Cinema.
Plug yourself.
The new way.
I've been silently standing in the corner for 3 hours.
Cholo is a savage. Like he does his videography and takes pictures and stuff, and it's like
He
nothing
does.
I've ever seen.
Check
before.
him out. Yeah, Cholo.
Hit him up.
Gracie Owensboro, Curbs on Twitch.
Curbs on Twitch.
Fortnite. Hit me up. Play some Run DLC.
See you guys.
Y'all have a great night.